Thompson booted 5 for the Hawks.
Yes, and Lee Colbert still hasn't got an opponent at the moment.
The umpires, Andrew Coates with the footy, Darren Morris and Shane McInerney. The Kangaroos go from left to right, and Mitchell, one of the leading clearance players in the league, takes it away. But Colbert for the Kangaroos takes their first possession to Harvey, now to Baird, and now Brady Rawlings. The brothers opposed to each other tonight in this match. Barker in the way.
And Barker playing in defence, Tim. We heard through the week he may well play that new role as a backman, and he's playing at centre-half back on Petrie.
So John Barker gets the call to play on. He drives it long, looking for Thompson, who's got the front position. Well spoilt by Watt. Makepeace does the crumbing to Colbert. Good kick to half forward and finds Wells. Exciting young talent in his rookie year. Kick just doesn't find Petrie, and Barker mops up for the Hawks, goes short to Everett. He's got a few options on, decides to go longer. It's a beautiful kick, and he finds Williams. The quick give to Leckis. Leckis goes long. Rawley's got the sit here, gets to the front, can't take the mark, got met heavily. Umpire said play on, and the Kangaroos out of danger.
Bit stiff. Colbert working it to the other Spider. They've each had a feel of it already. Now the other Rawlings. Hodge, as Motlop was beaten by the bounce, and Jade Rawlings on the end of it.
Yes. And Baird playing on Rawlings. It's an interesting matchup, that, giving the younger player the opportunity. And you'd probably think Jade Rawlings should have got a free kick for that last contest he was in, but clearly out in front there of John Baird.
Well, he is up in the top 5 mark takers in the comp this year, and he started well. Now to cap it off. Jade Rawlings gives Hawthorn the first.
Jade Rawlings averaging 8 marks a game this season. That was a pretty sloppy kick by his brother. And Luke Hodge quick to gather it up and fire it back into that forward 50. Not much John Baird could do with that.
Jade Rawlings gets his 32nd goal for the season. Back in the middle. Graham can't control it. Mitchell in and under again. Number 1 in the AFL in clearances, but not on this occasion, as Simpson drives it long for the Kangaroos. Wells against Osborne.
Have to be impressed with Osborne in picture there, playing for the Hawks. He originally from Queensland on the Gold Coast, and we see Nick Holland sitting on the bench with Lance Piccioni. But I really like the way Osborne plays. He's hard, he's tough, he's aggressive.
Everett, beautiful tap. Gee, did that well to Vandenberg.
Sensational ruck work.
But got nothing much to kick to. Sinclair will get there first. Had an excellent year for the Roos. Caught high. Advantage paid. Kicks to Burton. We'll have a throw in.
And let's have another. There's Glenn Archer playing on Mark Williams. That's an interesting matchup because of the size difference. But let's have a look at Peter Everett. What a wonderful tap.
He's averaging about 25 of them per game. Of course, his season shortened by one thing and another. But he's been very good when he's been there. Grant, a good centering kick for the Roos. Brave attempt, Jones. Still a chance, Petrie. Graham, though, the veteran, works it clear for Hawthorn. Johnson to Hodge. Now Barlow. Taking a little while, but doing it pretty well in the end. Clark off to Smith. Oh, he's gone. He just got rid of it. Green now will be under the pump. High tackle. Hawthorn free. They're lucky to get out of that.
Yeah. Just slipped up, mate. Slipped up.
Yeah, the umpire saying slipped up. Did he get the handball away here with this second tackle? The umpire deemed he did. And a pretty sloppy tackle by Jess Sinclair gave the free kick away.
That's it.
Green short to Reese.
Just where you are. Just wait for the call.
Who again goes short to Clark.
Just there, mate. That's it.
Tim Clark playing just his 10th game this season.
Hawks have got Shane Crawford right up in the goal square. Interesting the way they're using him.
Oh, that's a risky kick from Joel Smith. He telegraphed that one. And they paid the price eventually, the Hawks, for going short. Shannon Grant takes an excellent mark. Kicks out into space. It's a beauty too. Advantage paid. Bruiser away through Harvey. He finds Wells. And they'll probably pay for a goal here, the Hawks, with that bad turnover from Joel Smith.
Well, the turnover really hurt the Hawks because they were all out of position. And Harvey, well, he could just do it with ease, put this ball out in front of Daniel Wells. You can see he'd made 20 metres out in space by himself.
Taken number 2 in last year's national draft. Kicked 8 goals, 6 this season. And he threaded it through for the Kangaroos first. So it's all even here. 1 goal apiece. 5 minutes into the first quarter.
And kicking skills so important. Joel Smith is a very proud player of his skills. He'd be disappointed with that. He's got to forget it now, just get back on with the job. And he's playing on Jones on a half-back flank is Joel Smith.
Daniel Wells, the first for the night for the Kangaroos. Hawthorn, not a high possession side. Their attempts to become one in the lead-up to that might well cause Peter Schwab to conclude that they should keep playing the way they have been. Burton beats Everett in the clash of the Spiders. Simpson out of the middle. Smith with Rawlings on his hammer. And Rawlings did pretty well to force an indifferent kick.
At that centre bounce, Tim, Shane Crawford not in there, and we see Brady Rawlings doing a run with job on him. Crawford playing more on the forward line.
So the Spiders lock legs and arms again. Mitchell, another clearance. Brilliant work. And the Hawks are away. Archer looks like Colbert has this all. Went on the loose turf. Archer there in support. Now Watt. Jade Rawlings getting back for Hawthorn. Solidly met. And that Corey Jones.
That ball just wouldn't kick up for him. Just kept running low.
A throw in half-forward flank. Hawks into attack. Burton for the Roos won that one. In the clinches, Mitchell once again fed out a beautiful handball to Vandenberg, who squares it up. Thompson's got to beat 2 of them. Great mark in front taken by Archer.
Well, Archer's playing on a much smaller opponent, and that just shows the value of him. He can play on talls, mediums, or malls.
Brown receiving from Sinclair, and a searching kick is good for Motlop. Barker just getting a hand in there perhaps. Motlop should have done better. Hodge away now for Hawthorn. Not a great placement. Well done by Clark to get a hand on it. To Green, Thompson, and now Reese into half forward, but again a turnover. Poor disposal from the Hawks, and in the way is Grant.
Daniel Motlop missing what he should have taken.
Lee Colbert provides the run. And that's a solid mark.
Just hasn't got much size to go to. He's the tallest forward in the Kangaroo forward line, so he'll be looking for players on the lead.
Drew Petrie does just that. Into the pocket. Here's a chance for Clayton. And Makepeace, has he been awarded the mark? He has.
Stay there, Troy! Stay there, Troy!
Yeah, you wouldn't have kicked many goals this year, Stephen. Now that's the back pocket player.
He's kicked 3. 3 goals this season, 19 in his 81-game career. Troy Makepeace.
Well, he's on the right side for a left footer.
So here's the angle that confronts. It's the Roos 1-1, the Hawks a goal. 9.5 gone in the first term.
A lacklustre piece of play there. Makepeace had a golden opportunity. Wasn't covered closely on the left-hand side, but didn't make much of it. Now, Smith been mown down once, just eluded the men, and finds Everett. who you'd think would be pretty hungry to play some footy. That's a good delivery, and Rawlings has got... No, he hasn't got it. Baird takes it away for the Kangaroos. Pretty good kick, but arriving hard, and he might mark this. Hodge, he has!
Got to pay that one, Tim. Certainly wasn't his intention.
Green goes long. Williams, that's a good kick. Threaded the eye of the needle. And Mark Williams. Promising time for the Hawks. We read during the week about his, well, what Hawthorn say, his extraordinary athleticism. He'll kick from right on 50. 7 goals this season in his 6 games. A good effort. But not quite. 1-1 apiece. Kangaroos against the Hawks.
Troy Makepeace will do the kicking in up the other end of the ground. That's the Kangaroo forward line. And you can see hardly anybody in it. And they are playing probably the smallest Kangaroo forward setup that we've seen for a decade.
Makepeace going onto the non-preferred, but I think he had his twist onto the left plan. Simpson and Stevens now. Good move this. Jeremy Clayton almost picking it up low down. Barlow working it clear for Smith. Barlow again. Green and Crawford. But nothing there. And just a bit of spark missing from the game early. Archer to Makepeace. Kangaroos have it in the corridor. On his wrong side. Not a bad kick for Wells. And a good pair of hands.
Just there, Michael. You're right there. Just there. No 15.
No 15, so Motlop's going to play on.
Mine.
Ooh, that's going to be a free. Yeah. Well, one umpire said play on.
You're right, and he's back there. You've ridden all over him.
Umpire coach saying you're right, and he's back, and you couldn't argue with that. But what we'll see is the Kangaroos chipping short and wide into this forward structure, because Drew Petrie is the only tall player. Under Dennis Pagan, they often had 3-4 giants in that forward setup. So as a result, we'll see the Kangaroos breaking wide, kicking it out into space. And he was really made to earn that mark. That would have shaken Shannon Grant up. He's a pretty tough customer.
19 goals, 17 this season to Shannon Grant.
Digby Morrell has come on for the Kangaroos. Maybe Leighton's decided that he needs to get a bit more height in that forward line.
From 45, not going to make the distance in the end. Still in play. Mitchell to Smith to Johnson. Cleverly back to Smith. And again back to Johnson. Hawks combine well out of defence, and Johnson's kicks a ripper. Finds Nathan Thompson. Hawks on the charge. Crawford. Little one over the top to Reese. Reese on the right boot to Rawlings. So good transference by Hawthorn.
See, Mark Graham, full back for the Hawks, has run into the forward 50. And Lekas is Colbert's opponent.
So Angelo Lekas just outside 50. Gee, it was quick ball movement, wasn't it?
Gee, terrific relay of the ball. Good handball. Just a series of touch handballs. Hit the targets.
And a good goal kicker for the Hawks this year, Angelo Lekas. 29 goals, 9. This will test him.
Big Spider Burton back there.
It's a good effort. It's a great effort, and it's another poster for the Hawks.
So Hawthorn by a point. Makepeace this time on the end of the kick-in. Nothing to go to initially. Still nothing to go to down that wing. It's untidy from the Kangaroos. Watt hemmed in. Still under pressure. Makepeace very wide. Boy, that was ordinary stuff.
Well, we talk about the Kangaroo team kicking the ball shorter than last year under Dennis Pagan. We saw a good example of it there. And they'll make more clangers when they over-possess the footy like that.
Mark Graham, well outside range. Placing it. for whom is questionable. Stevens in the way.
Yes, the game not reaching any great heights at the minute. But it's close. As the Roos work the ball to the wing. He might have hurt himself there. Reese put well and truly under the hammer.
He didn't pick it up.
Daniel Motlop.
Yeah. Sort of landed awkwardly against Hodge. The Hawks have possession. He's moving a little bit more freely now, Motlop, so looks like he's going to be okay. Into the pocket, Rawlings can't get there. 40 out from the Hawks' goal. No, he's coming off, Motlop.
Hard to determine what he's injured there.
Knee or an ankle, perhaps. He looks okay, though, as he comes off. Reese. Quick kick. Clark from behind. Harvey in front. Green's also in there.
It's interesting at this boundary throw-in, the second boundary throw in a row. There's Morrell, who's gone to full forward for the Kangaroos, but Peter Everett's doing the ruck work. You'd expect Nathan Thompson might do this, but Everett hitting over the back into a bit of space.
Green having a ping, and he misses. In fact, he misses everything, and Hawthorn still lead by a point.
Jared Waitley.
Straight down the race for Daniel Motlop, quarters, so we'll still be slightly mysterious as to what's wrong with him. I'll try to find out from the medical staff.
David King has his first touch for the game. Started on the bench tonight to half forward. Osborne did well to feed it out to Green. Quick kick by Barker. Is okay to Hodge. Now, it's a beautiful kick of the football. And how come I always let you down, Robert, when you say that?
No, he went for the longer option, just got caught out.
Simpson marks on defensive 50.
Kangaroo midfielders, players like Simpson, Shannon Grant, Anthony Stevens, they work really well in the back half for the Kangaroos. They get so much possession in the defensive 50.
Sinclair. And his kick finds Brown.
Yeah, Mark Porter on for the Kangaroos. Burton off.
So Brown at half back. No flow in this match at all. The half forward. There's Holland. He couldn't trap it. Now Porter into the pocket. It's floating. It's floating. It's into the goal square. Smith will get there first for the Hawks. And in the end, he's pretty happy to see it over the line. Everett for a break.
Yes, both spiders off. Porter on for Matthew Burton.
Yeah, Thompson will do the ruck work for the Hawks.
So the second stringer's at it. Kangaroos deep in attack. A free kick the way of the Hawks' second stringer.
Just there, he's marked.
And with Thompson doing the ruck work, Nick Holland's gone to centre half forward.
Chris, take your man away. Thanks, mate. Just there, Mark.
So Nathan Thompson from deep in defence. Game not rising to the heights early. They're not exactly playing like teams that believe that they might be there in September. Watt there with the big fist. He's made it up to the wing. Holland has come off the bench for Hawthorn into an open 50. Colbert with...
How's that? Magnificent. Oh, that's... he's come back from a dreadful injury. Kept his eyes on the ball. Ran with the flight of it. Was prepared to get absolutely cleaned up. That's what courage is all about.
Now Baird and Wells, who's also running into a rather vulnerable situation, but manages to arrive safely.
You won't see many greater acts than that this year, will you, Robert?
Oh, just terrific.
And speaking of running with the flight of the ball, Stevens did just that. Couldn't take the mark for the Roos. And the Hawks regain possession. This is Loney to Osborne. Now to Holland. It's the second awful bounce he's got. Now Loney mops up, and that's a clever kick. And Clark will have a shot at goal from about 45. And there it was from Lee Colbert. So Tim Clark
Just interesting, the Hawk skipper, Shane Crawford's sitting on the interchange bench. He's only had the 2 disposals to this stage of the game.
Nice effort from Tim Clark. Is it enough? Not quite.
All clear. All clear. Cross the line. That's it. Just back to Troy.
So it's the Hawks 1-3. The Kangaroos 1-1.
There's Shane Crawford. Brady Rawlings played on him for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, it looked like a good call. Kangaroos short back into play again. Make peace to Watt now. Harvey also quiet so far. And another turnover. Rawlings in the way. Rawlings the elder. Now Mitchell, who's been excellent. But that's not so hot. Harvey.
Well, the Kangaroos got a big flood in defence. Got all the numbers back. And the player with the ball will probably have to wait a little while till his mates run forward.
And that player is Lee Brown. Just 4 minutes left in the quarter, and there have only been 2 goals kicked, one at either end of the ground. An inauspicious start to this round 20 encounter that promised a lot. That's a high hook from Brown. And the defenders climb all over it with Nathan Thompson taking a comfortable mark.
Thompson kicks in the direction of Barker. He's going to beat 2 of them. Did a pretty good job in the end of contest, but the Kangaroos win out. Brown did well to Rawlings, and he finds Shannon Grant at half-back.
And again, he has to wait.
Possession number 5 for the match for Grant to half-forward. Another throw-in.
There's Mark Graham playing full-back. Well, he's not full-back. He's more like up on the wing. He's been playing on Lee Brown.
Thompson and Porter again. Porter nicely to Simpson. Mitchell low in the way. Now Osborne. Again, kick to a contest, but the Hawks can make something of this. Reese to Green. Back to Reese. Still doing it hard. Mitchell, the hands a little too quick for Loney. Mitchell goes back to tie it up.
Start grabbing the ball. Thanks, Shannon. Shannon.
Hawks by 2 points. Not much more than 2.5 left in the opening term.
Johnson has his kick smothered by Wells. Archer comes through. Kick back into the middle. Harris got clean bowl. Osborne's done some nice work down back. To Barker. To Vandenberg. Tries to get through the traffic. Long. Holland against Watt. Archer, the third man in, spoils. Quick hands to Reese. Reese to Leckers. And Leckers will run in and kick a goal for the Hawks. Well, something had to give in the end.
Yes, it did. We've seen some pretty sloppy foot disposal. That was a good pass to Ange Leckers. And we see ball broken off half back there. Vandenberg long contest there. A couple of Kangaroos up. Pachoni gets the quick hands across. Rees to Leckers. And Leckers has become a forward. Started his career as a half-back flanker. In fact, played half-back flank for Victoria in their last State of Origin game. And there's the full forward for the Kangaroos, little Brent Harvey. He's telling his mates, get out, give me some space.
Porter and Thompson at it again now. Crawford back and losing. Well, that was like something off a program on another channel as Johnson puts the Hawks into attack.
Which channel?
Just Watt in the way. Now Stevens. And this is Harris. And he did pretty well. 90 seconds left. Kangaroos looking for a goal to level it up or near enough to that at the first change.
Inside 50s, double for the Hawks, 14-7.
It took a long time and he went via the cape. And then Porter fumbled it. That's a push in the back. Yes, it is. Joel Smith to take it. Had plenty of the ball. His 8th possession in this opening term.
Jared Waitley.
Quarters Lee Colbert did come off the ground, as Dean Laidley indicated early. He wasn't that rapt to come off, to be honest. I think he was quite enjoying himself, and Daniel Motlop is back running the boundary and should be back in the second quarter.
Well done by Mitchell. Oh, and Anthony Stevens on Nick Holland. That was a little bit crude. Oh, gee whiz. As Mitchell goes to half forward.
And credit to Nick Holland. He could have made this a lot worse.
Gee whiz, that was uncalled for.
No, he could have gone to ground and made that look a lot worse. Full credit to Nick Holland, but Anthony Stevens will have a worrying few days.
That was just unnecessary, wasn't it?
Very unlucky, Kangaroo skipper. Shannon Grant's in trouble after he got steamrolled when he took that mark. I wouldn't be surprised. There's the Anthony Stevens hit on Nick Holland.
That's very true.
If you want to go back, you can.
Yeah.
Just very much out of character, isn't it?
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Barlow finding Lectus, who can run in and perhaps kick another. And he, on the siren, has done just that. And the Hawks take a 14-point lead to their quarter-time huddle.
And Lectus has kicked 31 goals this season. There's Anthony Stevens. He'd be a bit disappointed in himself. But I think Shannon Grant's in real trouble after he got steamrolled in that mark earlier in the quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a concussion, because he's just not right out there. Giving away free kicks, hasn't been able to mark what he normally would take.
So quarter time here at Telstra Dome. And it's Hawthorn 3-3-21 leading the Kangaroos 1-1-7. The margin at the first break is 14 points.
Tonight, the Swans battle for a place in the top 4 when they clash with the Brisbane Lions.
He likes it out in front.
Will it be luminous O'Loughlin or lustrous Lynch? Brisbane Lions, Sydney, tonight on Fox Footy Extra. Play at home and away with this great Telstra mobile phone offer. Pay $0 for a Sony Ericsson T310 from the Telstra mobile $40 plan with a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 game, and you'll get a bonus PlayStation 2 and a digital camera module. That's right, buy this Sony Ericsson mobile phone with the very latest multimedia features, pay $0 and get a bonus PlayStation 2. Unbelievable. Hot phone, cool fun, awesome bonus deal. Available now from Telstra at Harvey Norman. Get the full bounce on what's happening with the Roos.
We were just saying off camera how we felt he's let us down last week getting suspended. They actually look like they can kick better than you, some of these kids. Did you watch the goals? Yes. I reckon you're a great kick.
Kanga Corner, 6:45 Tuesday.
Well, courageous, inspirational are 2 words to describe Anthony Stevens, and we were all a bit shocked when we saw this just before quarter time. Just totally out of character, Anthony Stevens, the skipper of the Roos, on Nick Holland, and Dean Laidley having a few words with the skipper also at the first break. I think Anthony was too happy either.
No, well, that was out of character, and he's let himself down there, but I'm sure he'll fight on for the next 3 quarters of this game.
Hawthorn lead by 14 points at the first change. Never reached great heights that first term. It was pretty ugly, wasn't it?
It was. That was an extraordinary scene. It was the kind of scene we imagine we might see here in round 6 on a Friday night earlier in the season. But we'll see what happens as a result of it.
Yep, 3-3-21 plays 1-1-7. There's Sav Rocker. I guess it'd be fair to say his career is at the crossroads at the moment.
Yes, I think he played for Port Melbourne today. Saw him wearing the number 45. And it's been a very good career for Sav Rocker, but I just think the pace of the game has probably caught up with the big man. And the Kangaroos have made a move. They've got Glenn Archer starting at full forward. Joel Smith playing on him.
Hawthorn free kick. Hawthorn block against Sue Harrow. And it's Reese to take it. Clearly spelled out by Andrew Coates. Nick Reese, biggest possession earner on the ground thus far with 11. Now Hodge. Crawford! Oh, on the bench in the first quarter, in orbit in the second.
Gee, that's a good mark. Only had the 2 touches in the first term.
Maybe that'll be the catalyst. Barlow running onto a well-weighted kick, which invited him down the ground. Now on the lead, Thompson. And Hawthorn with the chance to kick an early one in the second quarter and give themselves a nice break.
Well, they switched that ball from one half forward flank where Shane Crawford marked it. He centred it. And then the ball quickly moved from Barlow across to Thompson on the lead.
Very kickable. Man on the mark, 25 out. Angle slide. Should be a goal. The Hawks lead by 21 points.
And you can see Watt, who is very, very quick for the Kangaroos, just couldn't make up the ground on Nathan Thompson. I think this fella's just as important to any Hawthorn team if they're going to play finals and play good football in the next year or two. And Luke Hodge playing as a defender. I think that's really good coaching by Peter Schwab. He's educating him as a teenager. He played in the midfield, came into league football as a half-forward midfield player. Now he's learning how to play in that back line.
Loney puts the Hawks back inside 50 once again. Williams at the fall of the ball. Oh, shows great acceleration. Lays off the handle to Crawford, who's run down. No, he's not. But the Kangaroos out of danger. They have the numbers. Harvey over the top to Simpson. He runs into Barlow. Throw in.
It's another example, Stephen, of Simpson and Harvey, Shannon Grant, Jess Sinclair, all playing in that defensive 50. They get a lot of the ball, but you've got to give credit to the Hawthorn forwards. They're putting real pressure on them.
The 2 Spiders go at it. Reese has a fresh area. Vandenberg can't get a kick away. And another stalemate. Just seems with Hodgson, it almost looks like he's being used in a sweeper-type role, Rob. Just
he reads the play so well, and he's such a lovely kick with that left foot of his. I just think it's terrific that he's been played in that role over the last month.
Peter Everett.
Second effort by the ruckman. That's what you love to see.
From 48 into the goal square. And well played by the Kangaroos defence.
And that's one of the strengths of Peter Everett. He is as nimble at ground level as most players who we consider midfielders. So when he's on song, he's a very, very good player. We'll notice a lot of his ruck work, a lot of his taps don't go any more than a metre. Just drops it down to his players who are just underneath him. Got good understanding with them.
Grant's still there and figuring. Colbert as well. Mitchell, who's been outstanding for Hawthorn, tying up Anthony Stevens and earning the pats on the back from his teammates. The Hawks have found a good one here. Stevens is coming to the bench. Daniel Harford named as an emergency, looking on. Mitchell again. No result there, with Colbert again backing back fearlessly. Now Sinclair. Kick short more often than not. Forced long here on the non-preferred, but does it well to Makepeace.
Makepeace is also a beautiful kick to King. Caught one high.
David, just wait, okay? Let's keep it easy, right? No, it's back here. No, it's just going to be here.
Ooh.
Mine! Just there!
Wells for the Kangaroos.
Play on the mark!
To Grant.
He's not right.
Bit happening at the minute. To the full forward area. Morrell can't take the one-hander. Harris Morrell. Harvey will get there first. Can he keep it in play? He does. He bent it back. Barlow missed the mark, but the Hawks have the numbers. This is Hodge, and he goes short to Everett.
Hodges had 9 disposals.
And Stevens Holland incident just might have sparked things up. Osborne's okay. It looked as though he was genuinely hurt by David King's action, and it probably should have produced a reversal. Vandenberg wide, Leckers just inside the line and almost into the crowd. Leckers and Rawlings, Hawthorn's leading goal kickers this year, not in that order.
In the form that he's in, Tim, the goal-kicking form, he's entitled to have a shot.
They've kicked 3 of their 4 thus far. Brent Harvey coming off, so it gets worse for the Kangaroos. Leckers' disciplined kick for Thompson. Oh, he did everything but hang on to it. But Williams misses. Oh.
Or did he?
He did. Oh,
Gee, wasn't it a lovely sidestep? Just so quick.
So there's a few sore Kangaroos out there at the moment.
Adam Simpson. Well, Harvey off. Stevens off. The courage of Simpson, eyes on the ball, gets the knee in the stomach from Nathan Thompson, accidental, of course. And he did everything right except kick the goal.
So the Roos bring it back in from the side pad. Out of the full as Spider deals with him.
Gee, they're off the boil, the Kangaroos.
And now Clark marks. They're looking at a bit of disarray at the moment, the Roos. As Thompson marks. But Harvey is off. Stevens is off. Simpson's just got the heavy knock.
Shannon Watt has moved on to Jade Rawlings, Baird onto Thompson.
And Spider.
And that's what they'll do against Burton of the Kangaroos, because Peter Everett's got far more agility than has Burton, so they will use him as a forward on the lead. And they just took their time, gave this big man a chance to go forward and then pass the ball to him. But gee, some worries for the Kangaroos. They have been absolutely off the ball for the 35 minutes that we've played.
15 goals, 4 so far this year for Everett.
If he stays injury-free next year, you reckon he might produce about his best season? He really looks ready to do complete justice to his enormous talents.
12 out of 20 this year he's played.
I've spoken to him several times this year, and he just seems really happy to be at Glenferrie.
Simpson outmarking his teammate Spider. Burton would have enjoyed that. Sinclair, and coming down the ground Makepeace, can set something up here with that delightfully incisive left boot of his. Petrie just taken off it by Barker. It was good effort by the Hawks. Smith, Barlow, Crawford. Now Vandenberg having to fight his way clear. Did pretty well. Kick ordinary. Rawlings for the Kangaroos. King. Well, you never know what he's going to do next. He might kick that. Just beyond him. Petrie came down with it. Was a touch. The umpire pays the mark.
50.
Well, it becomes a certain goal.
50 becomes 5.
Joe! Let go, Glenn! Glenn, you got the footy, Glenn! Glenn, you got the footy! Move away! Move away!
It's a brave man to take on Archer, but I tell you what, I reckon he's not bad at it, Luke.
Move out, Luke! Move out!
Wonder if Archer was trying to spark his team around him. Kangaroos pull one back. Well, wasn't touched.
I think you'd have to pay it, Tim. Might have been a touch on the hand of Osborne, but I think the umpire had to pay that.
Hodge maybe imagining there was a hand in there.
Great mark by Drew Petrie. I reckon it was a grab, Robert.
Yeah, I think it was a mark. Interesting with the Kangaroos, Harvey and Stevens sitting on the interchange bench.
A badly needed goal for the Kangaroos. Reese. Simpson back inside 50. Archer's fired up. Oh, into Smith goes Glenn Archer.
Oh,
That was
free kick! Watch the arms, Glenn! Watch the arms!
that was nice and fiery too.
This looks like football in the 70s.
They had a fierce rivalry, these two teams. There was plenty happened in the 70s. Lee Matthews comes to mind. Don Scott. Phil Baker.
Adrian Cox. Oh, Colbert again.
He is a hero. He is an absolute hero.
He has been incredible coming back from an injury that looked as though it had ended his season, and sustained in that kind of way. But he's absolutely unflinching. Sinclair now. That's a good kick to Burton. Had to get a long way down. He's pretty nimble. Petrie in front. Leap from Shannon Grant. Jade Rawlings working his way to the back half. King. Now Reese to Barker. Done pretty well down the back. Now Loney with Piccioni running for the hand pass forward of the ball. Instead he goes to Reese and back to Loney. Looking like his twin brother on one of those runs. Now Piccioni, who's worked his way forward at the centre. Williams mown down. Strong tackle. A throw in on Hawthorn's 50. With the Hawks leading by 17 points.
Nick Holland getting ready to come on. Usually he'll come on, go to centre half forward. Thompson will go into the ruck. Everett would come to the interchange bench.
Slap forward by Mitchell. Colbert once again with his head over the footy.
Had his head down trying to pick the ball up. He had his head down trying to pick the ball up. Play on.
No doubt about that free kick.
If I was Dean Laidley, I'd show Colbert's two courageous marks at half-time, repeatedly show them, and that'd be enough inspiration for the team.
Wells to half forward for the Roos. This is the second of Colbert's marks. No Jason McCartney medal tonight, but should be all over already, wouldn't it?
And then at ground level, taking the hits, and all of it, no fuss, no nonsense.
Wells concedes some ground, goes back to Makepeace, who has had plenty of the football. This is disposal number 9 into the pocket. Clayton just couldn't hang on to it, but he butters up here. Clayton snaps around the body and kicks a great goal. First goal in league footy. Well done, Jeremy Clayton. Kicks his first goal on the big time. And that was a great snap.
Well, he knew what he was about, didn't he? Angled the ball on the side and dropped it on the boot. And that'll pick him up because he's had a pretty quiet night to this stage.
Well, it had been a Clayton's contest up until the last couple of minutes. It's coming to life. Kangaroos back within 11 points and playing with a bit of spark now after a slow start. Bad bounce by Darren Morris. Here's Mitchell again. Comprehensive takeaway, but it's coming back.
High contact
Free
back
kick
here.
to Porter.
High
High
contact.
contact.
The umpire has called.
It's pretty obvious. You can hold the arm. No, Pete, I'm not.
You go for the fucking ball.
He disagrees, Spider.
What gives you that idea? Porter. And Jones. I reckon Lee Colbert's efforts might have inspired the Kangaroos to something better than the slightly half-baked first quarter that they produced. Crowd at 50.
This is the part of the game that's wrong. The player has to be forced to kick the ball quicker than what we're seeing now.
Crawford bundling a chest mark. Funny old night. Strange happenings here. Porter and Everett at it again. And Motlop, that was a very clever piece of work. Just wouldn't sit for Glenn Archer. Crawford able to take it to the boundary.
Well, they've slowly fought their way back into the game in this quarter, the Roos. They looked in trouble early when they trailed by 20 early in this term. They kicked the last couple of goals. Now, that's a free kick. Undisciplined play by Everett.
It was, well...
Still got to tackle him. Still got to tackle him.
Just silly play by Peter Everett.
Move out, Glenn!
Kangaroos have worked their way back into this game. The inside 50 is well in favour of the Hawks. The possession's well in favour of the Hawks. The mark's the same, but they've just worked their way back.
So, Simpson, can he make the Hawks pay? He can. Kangaroos right back in the game. Well, we've seen some undisciplined acts tonight, Robert, and that was another one of them, really just a cheap free kick, wasn't it?
Just giving it, look, he's tackled there, then you've got to release the tackle. There is no point in slamming an opponent like that into the ground. It just costs you. And he just undoes so much of his good work.
You guys give away a free kick, then it's gone.
Kangaroos have kicked the last three and they're within 5 points. Now Peter Everett has to get his mind on the job here. Wells. But it's the Hawks who prevail in the exchange. Vandenberg, good robust stuff. And they can set something up. Clever kick off the instep, but Colbert in the way again. Kick just didn't quite have the carry to hit the target. And Lee Colbert banking back fearlessly once more. Now Simpson. And it's starting to come together for the Kangaroos. Jones.
Peter Everett being dragged, Tim.
It's time to pour a bit of cool water on him. Hodge. Now Holland. Mitchell. And Graham. And the Hawks can build up, although that's not a great placement. Almost a mark to King. Well done.
It was extremely well done. And it's a brilliant kick to half forward. Out of the space. Wells runs onto it. He goes short to Petrie. Not the greatest of kicks. Archer, who's on the angry pills at the moment, comes back to Wells. Wells has a snap. Across the face. Still in play. No, throw in.
Peter Everett cooling his heels.
So chance here for the Kangas to hit the front.
Well, Porter should be able to outrun Thompson.
Porter got the tap. Went to Crawford. To Smith.
Just 7 disposals to Crawford.
Now Green. Vandenberg against Makepeace.
He's being tackled, went the handball. That's not deliberate.
The entries to the 50, still Hawthorn's way, 3-2, pro rata. But the Kangaroos right in it now on the board. And the tide of the game with them. Simpson on his wrong side, makes a good fist of it. Archer. Hodge, though, only had to wait for it, and Petrie nearly made something of it. The margin just 4 points, and the Hawks have become bogged down.
Certainly livened things up in that forward line, Glenn Archer.
Joel Smith to do the kicking in. Leading possession getters in the game. Simpson's got a dozen for the Roos, and Reese has got 14 for the Hawks.
John Barker with the footy. He's looked quite settled in that defensive role.
Barker kicks in the direction of Thompson. Big fly. No mark.
just didn't hold it long enough.
Thompson will contest this against Porter. Porter did well, but it went to Johnson, who's all wrapped up by Archer.
Last 3 ruck contests, Porter has out-rucked Thompson. And there's Shane Crawford. Brady Rawlings, his opponent. He's done a pretty good job, this Brady Rawlings. He's got the height, obviously, but he's also got some pace.
That was well done by Thompson to Mitchell, to Green, to Leckis. And he'll square it up. His target is Rawlings. That's a good kick. And Rawlings just within range.
They're certainly within range, I think, Stephen. And Colbert was heading back to get in the way of that and tripped at the last second. Good little block there by Crawford.
Rawlings has kicked one directly in front, kicking from exactly 50 out. So the Hawks lead by 5 points into time on in the second term.
Makepeace and Sinclair combining as they often do. Sinclair takes an eternity. Has Baird out wide and delivers well for him. Kangaroos being selective here. Wells in short, ignored. Baird, who started his career at Glenferrie, playing against the Hawks. Barlow in the way. Now Smith. 12th possession. Rawlings coming a long way up the ground for that.
Watt just not playing tight enough.
Crawford running under it. Now Grant. Sinclair. Good tackle. And it had to be holding the ball. And advantage. Crawford makes the Kangaroos pay.
And the Hawthorn forwards putting the pressure on. Sam Mitchell, they've done it all night. Jess Sinclair tries to step past, well, Piccioni there. And Piccioni just brings him to ground. Well done, Lance Piccioni. Piccioni, Sam Mitchell, been hard at it all night. And, of course, the advantage, and the captain finishes off.
Shane Crawford nails the goal for the Hawks. That was an interesting reaction. Jared Waitley.
Quarters Lee Colbert again heading for the bench at about the 21 or 22 minute mark. So Dean Laidley sticking with his plan there. It's brought Brent Harvey finally back into the ground, who spent 15 minutes on the bench. And just watching him, he's not moving as freely as Kangaroos fans would like. Neither is Adrian Cox, who's come off with a left knee injury for the Hawks.
It's a wonderful return to AFL by Lee Colbert. With our rankings, he's ranked number 2 in this first half.
Thompson the tap. Snared for the Roos. This is Motlop. Only as far as Hodge. Joel Smith. It's a risky old kick, but it comes off. The mark's taken by Barlow. 50.
Get right 5 metres over! I was in control, I blew the mark.
Some angry players out there tonight.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? Umpire Coates saying that Shannon Grant went over the mark, called back and didn't oblige.
Well, it was nicked in the end by Motlop, did it nicely. And Grant takes the mark.
So not far from half-time. The Hawks by 11 points. Grant having a mixed night. That's a good delivery. And Jones can try and set something up for the Roos. Has to hope that Harvey from behind can something. Parker had him covered.
Well, Brent Harvey in picture. He raced 60 metres from the centre square.
Yeah, he put his he nudged his opponent to the ground in Clark, and it was great effort.
He ran 60 metres to get out there, and the reason why he was the target is that the Kangaroo forwards are just out of position. Good hit over the back by Morrell.
Jones finds some space. Adjuster behind. So it's the Hawks by 10 points. 25 and a half expired in the second quarter. Now Joel Smith once again kicks in the direction of Barlow. Spoilt by Jones. Front and centre was Crawford. Got it off to Graham. There's Crawford and Stevens off the ball, go at it. And a couple of Kangaroos into Crawford, Rawlings and Stevens. And this game is threatened to ignite at some stage. There's been plenty happening off the ball. And now there's a box on as Crawford's in there. Gee, I tell you what, the signs here aren't good. There's plenty happening off the ball. Just threatened to explode on a couple of occasions. Let's hope cool heads prevail.
Yep, that's a line. Mark's just where he's standing.
Well, all that was going on.
Just there, Glenn, that's it.
Johnson for the Hawks is going to have a shot at goal.
Blood rule.
Blood rule. Anthony Stevens coming off under the blood rule.
Well, something's obviously happened in that little get together.
He was pretty angry, Shane Crawford.
Yeah.
He felt that when he got the handball away, Stevens went at him, so he came straight back into the field of play, and it was just hoppo-bumpo for a good 30 seconds.
So Brett Johnson, who's kicked just 9 goals in his 35-game career, has slotted it through.
Well, the Hawks have come back with the last couple of goals. Kangaroos got themselves back into the game. But 2 goals just before half-time, no doubt will please Peter Schwab. They've certainly had more of the play, Tim. Just a few undisciplined free kicks enabled the Kangaroos to get back into it.
Yes, they have looked pretty much through this first half as though they've had the answers.
And that's where Stevens... Crawford wasn't happy about the way Stevens went at him, and this just went on for, well, 20, 30 seconds.
Gee, there's been some feeling there. Porter winning comprehensively, and young Clayton did well to Sinclair, but in the way, taking a comfortable mark. There's Clark. Now Barker flanking him. Hawks by 16 points. Now Green. He got himself into bother. Clark again. Barlow giving it to Smith under pressure. And the Kangaroos can turn it on them. Jones neatly to Grant. Distance to test here. Will have to kick it from outside 50, and he has his doubts. Kangaroos need one before half-time to put themselves right back in this. Don't know whether Grant believes he can kick it from there.
Well, normally, he's gone back a long way, hasn't he? He's gone back an enormous distance. That provides time, a little bit of space, but I think he'll have a go at it. Big run up.
Good effort, great effort. He has just done it. Margin back to 10.
And Joel Smith would be pretty disappointed when he has a look at a replay of that. He knew there was something coming, and I believe the eyes left the footy. He was a little bit concerned, and he's let himself and his teammates down in that effort. And this was disappointing play by Joel Smith. He could see an opposition player coming at him, lifted his eyes off the footy, and in the end he let himself down and he's...
It's the Hawks by 10. Makepeace. Soccer off the ground by Simpson. Likewise by Graham. But only as far as David King puts it into the pocket. Here's Smith once again. Trapped it nicely and found a teammate in Hodge.
Well, Smith has had 15 disposals. This will be Hodge's 13th. And there's the skipper with the bandage on the head.
Hodge. Long kick. Oh, almost. Spectacular mark taken by Simpson. Back to half forward for the Roos. Hodge stood his ground. Archer. Smith's wrapped up by King.
Any opportunity, Dan. Ball's pinned in there. Thanks, man.
Time perhaps for the Kangaroos. Morrell did beautifully. Slapped it to a teammate. Simpson into the pocket, and it's marked by Harvey.
Didn't he do that well?
He plays on. Harvey around the body. It's a good snap. It's a great snap. What a big goal for the Roos. Right on the half-time siren, and they will go into the break with the momentum.
Well, it was a good bit of ruck work by Morrell. A big belt forward to the running Roos to kick into that forward pocket. And the little man here who took the mark, gee, he did it well. He just bodied to keep his opponent away from the ball. The last split second, he was able to take the mark. And then, of course, he played on and kicked the goal. Digby Morrell in picture. He's done a couple of terrific contests in that forward line regarding the ruck work. And as we can see, pretty battered and tattered are the Hawks.
So break here at Telstra Dome. It is the Kangaroos right back in this game. Hawthorn leads by just 4 points in what has been a very fiery first half.
They look like swans.
Strange days indeed.
Played like demons.
Wonderful goal!
But this is Freo heading for the final.
Here's the siren. The Dockers have won at the MCG.
Today, Fox Footy heads west for the Dockers and the Dogs.
He's excited, and why not?
Rhodes scholars have to start a stir-up to avoid the spoon.
Go, doggy!
But just who'll get taught a lesson? Find out on Fox Footy. The Dockers take on the Dogs today.
It's a nice fence, mate. It's a very nice fence.
Yeah, built it myself. All 25k of it. Straight as a die it is. Anything gets in the way of me fence, I shift it.
Get many meteorites?
With a massive 110 kilowatts of power, the Nissan Navara Turbo Diesel is the most powerful in its class.
Yeah, phew. Bit of a pain.
You beauty.
Mrs. likes the rockery, though.
Go Harvey Norman for the latest in wireless technology. Smart Display. Have screen will travel. Microsoft Windows-powered smart displays are the best way to extend the power of Windows XP to any room in your home. Smart Display will change the way you live and play. Surf the net while watching TV, check your emails while still in bed, or download recipes in the kitchen. Work, shop, play, relax, learn. Smart Display. Any room, anytime.
Fox Footy is giving you the chance to win the couch from On the Couch, signed by Gerard, Mike and Robert. To enter, all you have to do is SMS your name, alternate phone number, email address and the word couch to 0427 436 689. And you could be sitting on the couch, courtesy of Fox Footy and Chesterfield Gallery.
Less than a kick in it as we get ready for the third quarter here at Telstra Dome. This round 20 match, it's Hawthorn 43 leading the Kangaroos 39. And there's something you don't see every day. Two of the premium on ballers in the competition, Brent Harvey and Shane Crawford at 29 and 30. both having very quiet nights. As we go down to Gerard Whateley.
Well, Donald, how'd you see a pretty physical first half?
Oh, no, you've got to expect a bit of physicality with the Kangaroos. I mean, the last 2 contests have been like that, and they've got us in the end. So it's been a big focus point for us, and we just got to really fight this quarter out.
Get the blokes to keep their composure. Is that part of it as well?
No, I mean, that's right. I mean, you've got to see the quarters out. It's a thing. I mean, they got us there with a couple towards the end of the stoppages, and it's something we've been really good at all year, and we're just going to make sure we concentrate on those situations.
Good on you, Donald.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
And again, Shane Crawford not starting in at the centre bounce. He's starting in the forward line, and his opponent is Jess Sinclair. Brady Rawlings played on him in the first half, so Dean Laidley sharing the responsibility of keeping Crawford quiet. And there's Lee Colbert, who's just inspired everybody with the way he's gone about his business, and it looks like he's got a new opponent in Jade Rawlings.
Hawks just in front as we begin the 3rd term. Kangaroos have first crack at it. Harvey, who needs to lift, shows great acceleration, runs to 45, screws it back. Kangaroos in front. What a start for the Roo boys. Oh, explosive stuff from Brett Harvey. That'll get him soaring up the rankings.
You couldn't have wished for a better start to that 3rd quarter. And he's playing on Tim Clark. He gained 2 or 3 metres. You can just see there, Clark went to ground, the Shannon Grant handball, and now he backs himself. He realises if he takes a run and a bounce, he's going to gain the 10 metres that he needs to be able to kick that goal. And the little fella, he's absolutely delighted with that performance. He hasn't started inside the centre square either.
Peter Schwab would have to be worried. Twice Hawthorn have been the best part of 3 goals in front. Each time they've surrendered it. Now the Kangaroos have grabbed the lead, and Sinclair gives them first movement out of the middle here. Petrie arrived late. Clever knock on Brown. But straight to Osborne, and the Hawks are away. Now Crawford with good composure. And he has a loaded up far side of the ground. Everett, if he could get around Wells, could do it from there. Long ball, just offline. Still in play. Thompson now, but outnumbered. Simpson, that's a good kick off the instep. And the Roos have the numbers on the dock side. Stevens getting that bandaged head under a tackle. Petrie, well flanked. Jones to Brown. The Roos are dangerous. That's a good kick. It's a great kick. And how this game has turned in 5 minutes of football.
It has, Tim, and the Peter Everett kick, as soon as it came off the boot, the big man knew the kick was no good. He didn't make the distance. It went to the forward pocket for the Hawks, and then with just a series of run, Anthony Stevens across the wing. He put his head down, he got it to centre-half forward, they crumbed it, and the big man, Lee Brown, was able to finish off. Well done, Kangaroos. Just see the reaction. He knew that kick was absolutely no good from the split second it left the boot.
And he wasn't speaking to the umpire that time.
Scintillating start for the Kangaroos. 2 goals in the opening 2 minutes of the 3rd term. They lead by 8. Osborne for the Hawks. Barlow can't mark. Snared by Rawlings for the Roos. To Motlop, to Stevens. Back to Motlop. Gets past Barlow. Shannon Grant squeezes the pass out to young Jeremy Clayton. Kicked a goal tonight in his 3rd game of league footy. To the 50. Good pass to Archer. They look fired up. 55 out from goal.
Just waiting.
Good pass.
Did it well. Did it well. Plenty of patience. Player with the ball, who was Archer, of course, wasn't rushed into it. He just waited and waited and waited after he took this mark and set up Petrie.
So Drew Petrie's kicked 1.
Gee, they've come out of the blocks, haven't they?
This will be 3 goals in 4 minutes. But he can nail it. kicking from, no worse than 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Goals, 17 this season for Drew Petrie. And he just can't finish it off. So a disappointing result for the Roos. But the Kangas nevertheless are in front.
Agonising frustration at either end of the ground and in the box, although a certain amount of relief at that outcome.
Joel Smith looking for a short option. Doesn't really want to kick it long, because if he kicks it long, there are some tall Kangaroos out on that 50-metre line.
Kangaroos should have led by 14 off that Petrie kick, and that would have been a 5-goal swing in not many minutes of footy. Crawford to Graham, and this is good to Leckis. Reese back to Leckis. Hawthorn loaded up over on the City side. Green. Good running by Hawthorn. Barlow, Clark, now Cox, or rather Piccioni, and back to Barlow. Just arriving in the nick of time was Motlop, and the Kangaroos are off the hook.
To Simpson, who pops it over the top to Sinclair. Now Rawlings. Looking for Harvey. It's a well-weighted kick, and Harvey's off again to the 50. Grant can't take it, but has time to recover. Smith against Archer. It'll be a rush behind.
See, Joel Smith's given some responsible jobs. I guess in the absence of Jonathan Hay, he often gets forwards who are so much bigger than him. See, he was over the line there. He was over the line.
Foot was on the line. Foot was on the line, John. Of that. It's got to be behind the line.
Foot's on the line, says the umpire. This should never happen. Like, what do you gain? You gain half a metre at most, with the potential to lose 50, which he's done there. It should never happen.
So the Kangaroos still a chance here. Graham didn't dare take it out of the air. Grant now. And Brown, who goaled from out there a little while ago, misses here, but it's all the Kangaroos at the moment. And their margin is 11 points.
So Smith to have another crack at it.
Out on the 50-metre line, there's players like Petrie.
Will make the most of it that time, but he didn't. Put it straight down the throat.
Well, he was looking to kick it short because Brown, Petrie, Porter are all out on the 50-metre line. So he's desperate to try to get the ball short. If Stevens can put this back over his head, you just about think Joel Smith will be given the sack.
Must be a hair-raising job, mustn't it? When a couple of things go wrong.
Yeah, well, he's gone over the line and then he's kicked one directly to Anthony Stevens.
Well, the distance is going to test him. He's right on his limit here. The inspirational skipper of the Roos, he gave it everything. Off the ball is a bit of a go between Everett and Brown. Just to behind to Anthony Stevens. Everett and Brown have broken it up. And take 3 for Joel Smith.
2-4 to nothing in 8 minutes of footy in this quarter.
Got 2 tall options. He's gone short again, but Thompson and Graham were together. It's not a bad bailout situation to go to the big fellas.
Barker to Reese, and now Smith can let off a bit of nervous energy. Green. And in good position for him is Piccioni.
Let's go, man! Let him go! Let him go! That's the try!
Couple of leads, Holland and Rawlings, and it was the latter who receives and can have a ping. Nothing Colbert can do about that.
Gee, the green kick to Piccioni was a beauty. Very rare nowadays that we have the long kick to a contest in the forward line. See, they wait, make a little bit of space. and put the ball out to a player on the lead.
Rawlings, who kicked the first goal of the night to get Hawthorn started in the second half, but it's a minor, and the Hawks trail by 11 points.
One goal, 2 to Jade Rawlings. David King eager to get on with it. Pumps it long in the direction of Brown. From the side, Simpson couldn't mark it. Brown's got the spoils. Sweeping handballs, a beauty to Grant, who gets onto the left. He's got some room to work with. He runs to 50, and he kicks another brilliant goal for the Kangaroos. Two goals to Grant. And all of a sudden, it's out to 17 points in favour of the Kangaroos.
Well, they did that well, the Kangaroos, from the kick-in. David King, he took an extra 10 or 15 metres by doing a little chip kick to himself. The play on, we see it here. King, he gets that extra 15 or 20 metres. The kick ends up on the wing. Lee Brown gets the handball, and they've got players pushing forward.
Things look glum. Kangaroos have kicked the last 5 goals. And this game has taken an unexpected diversion. Porter beating Thompson, but Mitchell read it well. Simpson to Jones was good, though, for the Roos, who are right on top at the moment. Makepeace. Held by Barker. After he disposed of the ball. Good decision. And suddenly it's all the Kangaroos.
Well, Simpson, Harvey, Stevens, midfielders have all lifted. Thompson in the ruck now for the Hawks, and Peter Everett to full forward.
Wells arriving late. It was a bit of a miscue from Simpson. Oh, Archer came at Hodge. The young man kept his composure. Now Motlop, Crawford just got him by the jumper. Still the Roos attack. That's a great delivery to King from Glenn Archer. Having mounted this intimidating charge on Luke Hodge, was still there to finish the play when it counted.
Well, you're right, Tim. He does intimidate, no doubt about that. And I just think a few of the Hawks are just starting to worry a little bit about where this human cannonball is. Gee, finished that off well.
So King to stretch this to 23 points. Put the wide arc, kick straight. And the Kangaroos had the biggest lead of the night. You wouldn't have imagined this halfway through the second quarter.
No, you wouldn't have. And Daniel Motlop, he has got some tricks. We saw one man ball over the back, and then the squared up kick by Glenn Archer to David King. And doesn't David King enjoy kicking goals? Lee Colbert in defence, going back onto Peter Everett.
It's the Roos by a very healthy 23.
Didn't have the ball. Thank you.
Pretty much been a 7-goal turnaround in this match.
Yeah. And it's the midfielders for the Kangaroos who've done most of the damage. Shannon Grant, he's been great. Brent Harvey's been good. Simpson, David King.
Just go back around, thanks, mate.
And the man with the footy, he's having a pretty quiet night by his standards.
Crawford looking for Rawlings. Well done by Watt to spoil. Kangaroos got all the answers at the moment. And just physically, they're giving it to the Hawks. To half forward go the Roos. Petrie forces his way in front. Takes a good mark. Wastes no time. Grant for the Roos from behind. Good mark in front by the Barker. To Crawford. Can the skipper provide some inspiration for Hawthorn? Well, it is shuffled around in the defensive 50 to Hawks. Barker to Osborne, who signals he's going to go long. For Piccioni. Now Wells, that half-back, got plenty of options, and one of them's Harvey.
Delightful pass, a daisy cutter into the middle. And there's some rhythm about the Kangaroos game that wasn't there early.
Well, John Barker's on Petrie, and he's 20 metres behind him.
Here comes Archer. Barker did well to get a hand in there. But Archer just wrestling the ball away. Osborne leads Stevens to it.
They've worried them with their aggression, the Kangaroos. Absolutely worried them, yeah. Well, Osborne won't take a backward step, that's for sure.
Boy, the field umpire telling the boundary umpire to throw it in and get their minds back on the game. Reese to Crawford. Leckus with 2 against him now. 1, the big burly Brown. Grant didn't have it when Holland arrived with the tackle. Kangaroos ball.
Played it well, Shannon Grant. Knew the free kick was probably coming his way. Have a look at this contest there. Good effort by Archer, and once the ball hit the deck, 3 or 4 Hawks stood back and waited and watched.
Stevens all by himself, puts it back inside 50. King, can he weave some magic? Goes for the banana! Oh, beauty! Vintage David King. And they're alike, the Kangaroos. They are hot. King's got his second for the term. And they're smashing the Hawks in this third term. They have kicked 5 goals in 15 minutes. The Hawks have kicked 1 behind.
Simpson, King, Harvey, Grant. The old school are back in.
Well, the Kangaroos have made the last 5 entries to the 50. They've kicked 7 unanswered goals. Not only that, Hawthorn haven't looked like answering.
Well, the Kangaroos have just dominated the clearances. The Hawks are going to get their first clearance for the quarter.
Graham to Holland at centre-half forward. Brought down, Colbert. Under pressure, the kick went nowhere. And Rawlings can make something of it. Hawthorn have got to do something, and they've got to do it very soon. This game has got right away from them. In quite remarkable fashion. Ron Kennedy said to us at half-time that Hawthorn had looked a more skillful team. That was our reading of it. From beyond 50 went the talk, miscued it. Oh, magnificent leap by Piccioni.
This young fella who took that mark, Tim, is played on.
And goal. Didn't hang around to have his picture taken, as they used to say, and didn't Hawthorn need it.
Well, I'm sure we'll see a replay of the mark. He has got some special talent, Lance Piccioni. Jumped early, got the ride, started his AFL career with the Crows, a Victorian kid, and he has got more talent than the average AFL player. It's just a matter of the consistency, quarter by quarter, game by game, coming out. Once he gets that, he's going to be a pretty good player. You just have to think that Lee Colbert probably hasn't got much more game time left in the tank.
Roos by 23. Everett against Porter. Oh, great tap by Spider Everett to Johnson. Hawks back into attack. Holland at the front. Big fish in the Kangaroos defence. Barlow squeezes the kick out. Grant under pressure. Held when he didn't have it.
Pull on, give the ball up. Give it back, please. Shannon behind you, mate. Shannon, you're over here. Shannon, you're over here.
Grant finds Sinclair. Looking for Petrie, but Peter Everett takes the mark. Plays on to Loney. Back to Everett, who's spilt the beans. Tackled by Simpson. Loney threaded it out to Crawford. Crawford back inside 50. Good kick. He's found Barlow. And his teammates tell him to go back and have a shot. He doesn't. He goes short and just comes off to Williams.
16 metres, I think, Stephen.
That's 15, right?
And Lee Brown saying, how's that 15 metres? Have a look at the ruck work here. Just the subtle tap over the back. Down to Johnson, and away the Hawks go. Think for the Hawks to get back into this game. Everett, Crawford, Rawlings are the three who can win it for them. But they better get moving because the Kangaroos have just been fantastic in this third term.
Well, Crawford's had 7 disposals this quarter, as has Shannon Grant for the Kangaroos. Williams has kicked 2 behinds in the game so far. That's a shocking kick. That is just shocking.
Expect the unexpected. So Hawthorn players should have been in the goal square expecting the unexpected.
He ran into the open goal earlier in the match and missed from 10 metres. And a set shot from 30, not making the distance. Sinclair, lovely long ball. Now Crawford on Brown at ground level. Should favour the Hawk, but the bounce was good for the bigger man. Wells, desperate lunge, not the percentage play there, but it'll work out. They've got 3-on-1. Wells running for Harvey, and there it is. In fact, to Stevens and now to Wells. Needs some genius here, and that's not bad. Corey Jones can line them up from 30 out.
Good effort by Lee Brown in the one-on-one to beat Crawford. And Osborne poleaxing his teammate. But again we see the Kangaroos just with the composure to steady and square up. Archer to King. Wells to Jones.
This to stretch it again to 29 points. An important kick and a pretty straightforward one. At what price now? That miss from Mark Williams at the other end. It didn't even miss.
Yeah.
That is how it's done.
And Osborne leaving the field after that collision. That's the poor kick of Williams. That didn't travel any more than 30 metres. And this is a really good win. The one-on-one contest. Took it in one hand, dropped it on the boot, beat Shane Crawford, and ended up being a Kangaroo goal. And Osborne really hurting there, but this is what hurt Peter Schwab. Just a dreadful kick by Williams. No more than 30 metres. Ball goes out to the wing, a one-on-one. Shane Crawford and Lee Brown. Brown wins it. And the Kangaroos end up with the goal.
Free kick to the Hawks in the middle. Everett's got it. That is a pretty good kick from Spider.
Just shows what he can do.
What skill.
This could be interesting.
Lace out Williams. He's a bit further out than his last kick. He'll be kicked from about 46, 47 metres this time.
Well, he's taken the glove off this time. I don't know if he took the glove off with that last kick. Might make all the difference, Tim. Maybe the ball stuck in his hand.
That's a better looking kick. No problem with that one. Williams gets his first. So 23 points the margin, and that kick from Peter Everett was the lace out 55-metre magnificent daisy cutter pass.
And Jess Sinclair, Williams' opponent, just got lost in heavy traffic.
Hawks still with worries, trailing by 23 points, but Mark Williams getting it right. Shades of Paul Hogan. Call that a kick? That's a kick. And the second one delivered the goods, but here's Jones again for the Kangaroos. Archer, who's been very competitive up there, would expect no less. Jones arrives for another play. Barker on his knees. Everett now. Mitchell, gang tackle.
shooting my ball.
Look at the number of kangaroos around Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell's one tough nut, and it took 3 or 4 to bring him down.
Jared Waitley.
Yeah, Michael Osborne very gingerly walking his way around the boundary line, hurt right down his right-hand side, the ribs, and down as low as the kidneys, in a lot of pain.
Mitchell, the clearance to Pachoni, to Graham, and now Loney. Thompson has been out-bustled. He's had a very quiet night, Nathan Thompson. So has Holland. Spent a bit of time on the bench. Leckis to Johnson. Barlow in front. Well spoiled by Rawlings. Sinclair, good kick to Grant. And the Kangaroos out of danger. Crawford. Sweeps the handball to Mitchell. Now Cox, who's back on the ground after a knee problem. Inside 50. Soccer off the ground by Jade Rawlings for the Hawks, but across the face. And Montlock grabs it for the Roos.
And the Roos have been good on the rebound in this quarter. They've really hurt Hawthorn, moving it quickly out of the back half. King to Burton. Everett was bearing down. Now Williams. Oh, that's not a great kick for Hawthorn, but their crummers can still do the job. Loney, well tackled by Sinclair. Pachoni. Loney and Pachoni. The Roy Orbison lineup. Holland. Just slung and hooked it. Hawthorn trailed by 22 points.
Less than 3 minutes. If the Hawks can get another goal, the game's still well and truly alive. Arm wrestle in the first half. Kangas had all the momentum in this third term.
And that's a good mark. Is he paying it to Burton or to the man in front?
Couldn't tell who was in front.
So the umpire goes to safe option. Bounce.
Gee, good body work by Daniel Welch.
And he's got it to Jones. To half forward. Harris against Hodge. Oh, Harris turns Hodge around beautifully. But lets himself down with the kick. Holland really struggling tonight, and he's given away a free kick.
Costly fumble by Nick Holland. Just had to take that ground ball cleanly.
Just struggling to keep up with the pace of the game, isn't he?
Just great body work there by Daniel Wells to push his opponent under the football, then take control, the sidestep. And the tackle just slipped low, and it had to be a free kick to the Kangaroos.
Corey Jones has kicked 1 goal this quarter. .22 for the year. And he's kicking from right on 50, just a slight angle. This would really cause the Hawks some pain if he can nail this one. As we near 3/4 time.
Certainly taking his time.
In he comes, right on 50. And it's a point.
Everett off. Crawford. It's a reprieve for Hawthorn. But, this has been a black quarter for them. Only won 7 third quarters this year. The half-time break seems to do them some damage. Cox to Mitchell, who has been absolutely gallant. That's his 16th disposal. Back to Cox. In the last 2 minutes. And Hawthorn badly needing a goal to take with it to 3/4 time. An uncertainty about their every move at the moment. Kangaroos flooding back. Cox blazes in hope. Holland from the side. All the Roos at the fall. Grant. And that's a good delivery to Simpson, who didn't hang on to the mark, and it will be thrown in. So still time for Hawthorn. but they're not moving like a team that's going to string it together and really challenge.
Thompson against Burton. Johnson puts Hawthorn back inside 50. Holland against Brown. So one last chance here in the third quarter for the Hawks.
Shane Crawford has had 10 disposals in this third quarter. He's really worked hard. Anthony Stevens, his opponent at the moment.
Up to 19 for the match, Shane Crawford.
The ball down on the ground, actually, I reckon, Nathan. That's what I was trying to assess, mate, and I couldn't see.
Burton got the tap. Mitchell cleverly to Johnson. A quick snap into the goal square. It's still in play. Lekas keeps it alive. And Stevens.
What do they do there?
Umpire said throw it in.
That is really surprising. He could have easily given deliberate out of bounds there. Lekas tried all that he could. There's the handball.
She was clever.
Gee.
Throw in. Thompson got the front posse, and we'll have another bounce.
What do you think, Tim?
Well, it's hard to know. I don't know whether he knew what he was doing.
If he hits it through for a behind, okay, you wear that. He's put it through for a rush behind, but he's missed. He's put it out of bounds. I think it should be a free kick against him.
And well played by the Kangaroos. Got it out of danger as the siren sounds. A terrific quarter by the Roos as they try to keep their finals hopes alive. They booted 6 goals in that quarter to the Hawks 2. As at three-quarter time, again, tempers boil over.
They've just gradually got better, the Kangaroos. 1 goal in the first quarter. Then they had 5 and 6 in the third term. And they've worked really hard. Without any dominant forwards, it's been their midfield players who've just worked hard from half-back through that midfield and been unselfish in the forward 50 to set each other up. That man in picture, he is a powerful presence on a football field.
He certainly is. So three-quarter time here at Telstra Dome. It's the Kangaroos in front. They lead the Hawks by 23 points.
Their powers are legendary.
Oh, yes, indeed!
Their origins widespread.
Oh, you won't say better than that!
Their methods extreme.
This is a crazy game!
But when the weekend's over,
Bang, bang, bang!
they'll be the game's last hope.
What a beauty!
Well, that's what we think. For a complete wrap-up of all weekend's games, catch The Winners with Clinton Grivis, live 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Simpson is proud to sponsor AFL Auskick because we can't think of a better way for kids and parents to spend their time together. Simpson, time for life.
The National AFL Rising Star recognises the best young footballers playing in the Australian Football League. Here are this year's nominees from rounds 13 to 18. Docker Byron Shammer, Aaron Sandilands also from Fremantle, Bomber Ted Richards, Daniel Motlop from the Kangaroos, Collingwood's Richard Cole, and Lewis Roberts-Thompson from the Swans. The award is part of the National AFL Pathway Program, who will be the National AFL Rising Star in 2003.
Behind the headlines.
Oh, let's not go down there.
What better place to start than the Best New Mullet Award?
I'm not a champion, but always let it go.
I salute you.
Hawk Talk, 7:15 Wednesday.
Stevens all by himself, puts it back inside 50. King, can he weave some magic? Goes for the banana! Oh, beauty! Season's on the line for both the Kangaroos and the Hawks in 2003, and at this stage it looks like, though, the Roos are going to live to fight another day. They lead by 23 points, 12-8 to 8-9. Grant and Simpson, 20 touches each for the Roos. Crawford had 10 in that third quarter for a match total of 19 and Reese 18. As we have a look at some fresh legs for both teams.
Well, Adrian Cox hasn't been on the ground for long at all. Only had the 4 disposals. Piccioni's certainly got some fresh legs. And Holland has started every quarter on the interchange bench. Centre bounce, Thompson to do the ruck work, and Peter Everett down at full forward. Harris hasn't had much game time. Burton's been sharing the ruck work with Porter. And Digby Morrell hasn't spent much time on that forward line.
Jared Waitley.
Peter Schwab kept his huddled together a long time, quarters. He was pretty angry with their third quarter efforts. Michael Osborne does return to the field. He's gone to the back pockets.
So we start the final term. It's the Roos in front by 23. Mitchell, slick handball to Barlow. To Loney. Long kick. Well done by Colbert to get a fist on it. And Watt in the end is happy to concede the rush behind. Roos by 22.
Makepeace, the little one, to Sinclair again. Replayed that move plenty of times tonight and through the season. And this night has been a metaphor for the Kangaroos season. Things weren't going terribly well, but they've hung in there and they've made something of it. Thompson wanted that. Made it his. Hawthorn need more of it. Can someone do it here? Rawlings from a standing start. Lecker's dangerous. Very dangerous. Good start, Hawthorn.
Did well, Ange Leckers. Stayed down after he saw the Thompson mark. It was a long kick aimed at Rawlings. You can see Leckers in picture. He runs to the front of the contest. That's where the ball is most likely to go. And then very clever on the left foot. Well done, Angelo Leckers.
Three goals to Angelo Leckers. Gives the Hawks a sniff. It's the Roos by 16 points. Porter got the tap. Leading possession getters in the game. For the Roos, 20 each to Simpson Grant, 16 to Sinclair. While the Hawks, 19 each to Crawford and Mitchell, 18 to Reese, and 17 to Barlow. Porter the big fist to King. Kicks a high ball. And that's an excellent mark. Taken by young Clayton. Back to King, to Grant. Good use of the footy by the Roos. And this is not beyond Shannon Grant.
Well, not what we saw him kick that long one in the second quarter. And I just think the Kangaroo senior players have got a point to prove. Last week they lost that nail bite, lost by a point to the Dockers. And Dean Laidley, the coach, he just felt that some of the senior players could have done a little bit more. Well, they've certainly done a lot in the third quarter to get them well in front.
He's kicked 2 goals in the game. Again, the big run-up from 50, unloads. Just misses to the right. It's the Kangaroos by 17.
And Glenn Archer does all the team things, and there's a perfect block on Osborne just to free up Daniel Wells. And that's what experience is all about.
I reckon if the umpire saw that, he might have had to intervene. That was a fair dinkum shepherd, wasn't it? He wasn't just standing in his path. Now Smith takes on Wells. Dangerous man to take on. And the kick doesn't fall well. Clayton, who's done some good things. Hawthorn really need to kick the next goal. If they do, they're well in it. Margin 17. Suddenly the leads come. They're like a field of sprinters all taken off at once. But it's mopped up by Clark to Rawlings. Now Hawthorn, while it's open, need to move it quickly. They're strong in the corridor. Piccioni Can someone step?
Gee, that was soft.
A relay free right in front of goal. Now Hawthorn want to run on, but they won't be allowed to do that. It'll be Peter Everett's ball with the man on the mark 25 metres out.
Well, there's the miss by Shannon Grant after the Clayton pass. Hawks were able to get it out of defence.
It wasn't much of a bump.
Didn't seem to be. I'm sure we'll get a look at it, but it's certainly given the Hawks a chance to get an easy goal.
And the ball is in pretty good hands. He's been an angry spider at times tonight. Just a bit of a little afraid of angry spiders. From 30, lovely kick. Margin back to 11.
There's Piccioni, and Brown bumps him over. That's disappointing. There was no malice in that whatsoever.
That wasn't it. Do you reckon that was a free, Robert?
No, I don't. I don't.
Nothing in it at all.
Yeah. Very lucky Hawthorn. And we'll get another look at it. Piccioni, kick. Bumped, more or less in the same action. Free kick downfield. I think the umpire got it wrong.
Well, the Kangaroos now lead by just 11. Graham. Crawford. Searching kick, looking for Everett. Oh, here's a chance for Cox, but he overran the football. Rawlings is down hurt. Golden opportunity lost by Adrian Cox. Just overran it. And the Kangaroos out of jail. Good mark taken by David King.
That is a good mark, taken at top pace.
To the 50. Simpson looking for Archer against Smith. Smith spoils. Archer does the team thing to the tip of the goal square. Wells flew high. Osborne recovered from the heavy knock. Here's a chance for Cox. Drills it long. Everett's one out. Can he get there in time? He can't. Little bit of soccer by Piccioni was clever. Rawlings to Hodge. Can he break the tackle? He can.
Let's have a look at the kick of Piccioni. Oh, that's where Rawlings was crashed into by Peter Everett. Almost a specky taken by Wells. Osborne's able to get out. That's the kick. It's just a little kick off the side of the foot, and it sets up the goal for Luke Hodge, who's been moved into the forward line in this final quarter. Piccioni's soccer skills come to the fore. The evasive skills of Luke Hodge, who's been moved into the forward line, stand out, and the Hawks are well and truly back in the game.
In a few short minutes, Hawthorn have transformed it, and Mitchell wins it away again. The margin just 5 points. Simpson covering it and being awarded the free kick. Said the match had been a metaphor for the Kangaroos season. It's a similar story with Hawthorn. When all looked lost, they've come back. And Lekas has it again.
Not enough carry on the kick.
Here comes Everett once more. Not quite judging them right. Sinclair for Stevens. And again, Everett
He's
down.
Williams
He's put
this
one of
time.
his teammates down. Colbert. Sinclair again. The long option make pieces a sound one for the Kangaroos.
Haven't got much to kick to, except Brown short. And that's where he's forced to go. Brown. That's a good spot up to Sinclair. To Simpson. So they work the ball crisscross the ground. The Kangaroos. Simpson's got it. Stevens. And Petrie couldn't hang on to it. Barker. Now Simpson to Harvey. Little underground one to make peace and through it back there.
Good pressure by Mitchell and Williams there. And John Barker, I've been impressed with his game at centre half back. He's played there for the entire match.
Crawford. Mitchell again in the midst of it. Williams, ooh, it's fierce in there, and he gets a free kick for a push in the back.
Williams has been given a turn on the ball, Tim. He spent most of the game in that forward pocket, so he's got the fresh legs.
And a good, decisive, quick movement of it to Thompson.
Nick Holland back on the ground. He's at centre half forward. Everett at full forward, so you would think that the Hawks would kick it long to the big fellas.
Osborne, oh, what a mess that was. Somehow back to Thompson. Inevitably, they've turned it over. Wells and Williams, a couple of exciting talents. Now Grant, good tackle, Paccioni. Well, it wasn't pretty, but it was a fierce contest.
And Michael Osborne just didn't know what he was doing there. Turned the ball over. Wells almost was able to break free.
Thompson, good tap to Mitchell. Cleverly to Loney. Now Barker to Barlow. Loney once again.
Well, that's the advantage of Loney in this team. Like his twin with Collingwood, they are both very good kicks.
Graham looks for Crawford, who did it well. Inspirational stuff from the Hawthorn skipper, and it's a good kick too as he finds Mitchell. Too far out to score. Everett comes over and says, slow things down.
Well, I think they've got to wait for a tall option to get there. Nick Holland's run from behind Mitchell to present down near the goal square. So at least he's got a tall option there. But terribly outnumbered they are, the Hawks, in that forward 50, so they'll take it around the edge of the 50 arc.
Back to Crawford.
Desperately trying to get a mark inside that 50.
Crawford to Osborne.
Daniel Wells off for the Kangaroos.
Well, patience is a virtue. And eventually Angelo Lekas will have a shot. Goes off the ball as a bit of push and shove. Nothing much of that. And Angelo Lekas will line up for goal number 4.
Well, Angelo Lekas is just too slippery for Lee Brown. That's a bad matchup. Has been a very accurate kick, Angelo Lekas, Tim, over the last couple of years since they've turned him into a forward.
If he kicks this, the Hawks are in front. What a turnaround. The Hawks in this quarter have kicked 4 goals.
And you can see Lee Brown there. He just doesn't work hard enough to go with Lekas.
Lekas made about 4 leads in what was a laborious build-up by Hawthorn, and I reckon he'd run Brown off his legs.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tim. He lost, Brown lost concentration.
So now the Hawks have come back from the dead.
Big gap there, Tim, at centre half forward for the Hawks. They've opened that space well and truly up. The player we can see in picture is Luke Hodge. So they're looking for a quick break through that spot.
A long night for both coaches. Porter winning. Simpson pushed in the back just about. Graham winning it away for Hawthorn. Hodge just couldn't get it off to Crawford. Grant's worked very hard.
Thanks, fellas.
Halfway through the quarter, Hawthorn have kicked 4 goals to none to grab the lead.
Well, a team that loses tonight can kiss the season goodbye. A mathematic team that wins can still make it. Holland! Hawks have kicked 5 unanswered goals, 4 of them in the last quarter. And he's had a quiet night. He's been on the bench for a fair bit. And directly in front, only 35 metres out.
Thompson's been good in the ruck.
Holland has a chance to put the Hawks 7 points up.
Since the Kangaroos kicked their last goal, the momentum certainly swung the Hawks' way. Momentum started that third quarter, all Kangaroos. It's rare that you can sustain it. And this big fella here, he started each quarter on the interchange bench, then he's come on, done a little bit of ruck work, mainly at centre-half forward. And again, the space at the Hawthorn forward line. They're dropping back into the 50-metre arc, opening it up. And Thompson's been pretty good in this last quarter in the ruck contests.
5 goals to none in this final term. Port at the tap. But straight to Clark. Pachoni couldn't pick it up. Mitchell again. Baird with 2 against him. The boundary line wouldn't be bad. Grant would be even better. He gets the forward.
Clearance 6-2, Hawthorn's favour in the final term. They desperately need to get Daniel Wells back on. He can break the game open. Hamstring tightness is the reason he's off.
Sam Mitchell's got the game high now, 25 disposals. He's had 7 already in this quarter. Here come the Kangaroos to half forward. But it's Osborne who breaks the tackle. Now Barlow, Vandenberg, back to Barlow, who runs through the middle. Barlow back inside 50 to Williams. Great play by the Hawks.
Great play by Osborne. He took them on, drew the players, got the handball out, and we'll see Osborne here, backs himself, cuts back, handball, a couple more handballs. Barlow ends up with a perfect kick to the leading Williams. And the little fella with the footy, I hope he remembers the mistake he made in that third quarter, and that was to walk in too slowly and kick it. He needs to take plenty of steps and get some momentum up.
He's kicked 1 goal too this evening. It's a good-looking kick. It's another one for the Hawks. It's raining goals. Hawks have kicked 6 goals in 17 minutes in this final term. The Kangaroos have managed just to behind. What an amazing turnaround. They looked at goal for all money at three-quarter time, the Hawks.
They did. And just completely swung their way. Credit to the coach. He's put Thompson in the ruck. Everett to full forward. He's knocked a few players down, including his own teammates. Hodge at half forward has been lively. Mitchell and Clark in at ground level, in at the centre bounces. And Crawford, since half-time, has probably been the Hawks' best player.
You would think there was a howling northerly blowing. Kangaroos kicked 6-2 in the third quarter. Hawthorn have come out with 6 unanswered in the last. And they seem to have all the answers at the moment. Crowd of just over 29,000. Hawthorn now by 13 points. After slipping behind by nearly 5 goals during the third term. A match impossible to read. Harris well tackled. And his hand pass goes nowhere. Oh! Tim Clark just about taken into the crowd.
It was okay.
Most concerned was the dignified-looking gentleman in the front row.
David King. Can he lift the troops? To half forward. Morrell can't trap it, but Motlop can. Now Morrell, has he got the toe? Well played. Inside 50 go the Roos. They need something. Anything. But not on this occasion as Lady clears once again. To Pachoni. Pops one over the top, looking for Holland. Baird. Was that intentional? No, says the umpire.
Glenn Archer in picture. He's at full forward for the Kangaroos. They need to get Glenn Archer in the action. He's only had the one disposal in this final quarter. He's an impact player, and they can't get the ball up to him, so they've got to get Archer around the ball.
Porter and Thompson, not a spider to be seen in the ruck contest in this last quarter. Grant, nowhere to go. Baird. Kangaroos desperate for the next goal. Leckers doing a bit of both ends of the ground at the moment, and that was outstanding. Just couldn't quite go all the way. Hodge to Thompson, loading up and nailing it.
Pachoni's down behind play too.
Magnificent effort. Gee, he's hurt.
Yeah, it was a bad one behind play. I don't know if it was legal or illegal, but he just got nailed. I'm not sure it was in the pack or what it was, but he is in big trouble.
D'Angelo Leckers dash off half back, and then it set up the two players who've made the big difference. Thompson in the ruck and Hodge at half forward. And Lance Pachoni doesn't look good at all. He's been really good, Lance Pachoni. Set up that goal early in the final quarter with that clever soccer kick. But here we see Leckers just pushes Sinclair out of the way, backs himself, gets past one, takes on another here, gets the handball. Hodge to Thompson, goal.
So Lance Pachoni is in a very bad way. The stretch is out.
We haven't seen what happened to him, Stephen.
Well, he collided with a Kangaroos player.
There is a lot of blood there. And against that bleached, snowy hair, it's a stark sight. Dear, oh dear.
This is not good at all. Let's have another look at the replay.
Oh,
Jess Sinclair.
Jess Sinclair. That is not acceptable.
Gee whiz.
That is not acceptable. Sinclair was beaten in the contest with Leckers, and he's put the forearm up.
Oh, gee.
And not good enough.
Well, he copped a horrific injury in Brisbane a couple of years back with the sinuses.
He did too.
And he had to drive back or get back on the train. So I hope it's got nothing to do with the sinuses, but that is not good.
Reckon Jess Sinclair would know it. I'd like to prejudge, but that was bad.
Yeah, he would know it, Tim. He was beaten by Leckers in an important one-on-one contest. We might be able to see it.
Oh, gee.
This is the contest that I think frustrated him. He got pushed out of the way by Leckers. Leckers backed himself. He couldn't catch him. Pachoni comes in to put the shepherd on. And Pachoni doesn't deserve what he got.
Well, there's been some unsavoury incidents for the night. We said that it was simmering for quite some time, but we just hope it's not a serious head injury, a fracture or something like that.
It might just be a decent gash around the eyes, so you know, they bleed profusely from there. Oh, he'd be feeling terrible, Jess Sinclair. That's not part of his normal game.
Of course, players know how pervasive the television scrutiny of these events is these days, and he'll know that it's going to be shown and re-shown, and it is not going to do him a whole lot of credit, and that is a very sad sight.
Well, we saw Tim Fleming get 3 weeks for the incident with Nick Riewoldt last week here at Telstra Dome, and that's every bit as bad.
And the injury looks worse.
A lot worse. Obviously a massive hold-up and play here. Gerard Waitley's on the boundary line now, down there. Gerard, anything to report?
No, the medical staff are obviously walking with Lance as he's driven off the ground, going remarkably slowly, so obviously a heap of concern, and there are Hawthorn officials waiting just at the top of the race here for when he arrives. So we'll just get a quick word with one of the trainers and just see what the state of play is. But Hawthorn fans certainly standing and giving Lance a good send-off, but he is in a bad way.
So Lance Pachoni, who He's had a reasonable game too. He's done some nice things tonight. 12 disposals, 4 marks.
Set up a couple
Kicked
of goals.
a goal.
Oh, look, he's a player I've watched closely because when he went to Adelaide, I thought he was going to be a pretty good player. He was there when the Crows were very, very successful.
Well, I reckon the Hawks have got a message too.
Well, Lee Brown will protect Sinclair.
Just wait for it. Wait for it.
The two Kangaroo players were former teammates with the Dockers. Both of them played with the Dockers together, Brown and Sinclair, and both Victorian boys now back in Melbourne.
There's no doubt the message has gone out to the Hawthorn players, I'd suggest. Richie Vandenberg certainly knows about it. As back in the middle. Now the game is well and truly in favour of the Hawks now. They lead by 19 points. Kangaroos need a miracle from here. But Sinclair, he was lined up by Vandenberg and he missed him. And that was a fair run-up too. Shannon Grant, they need a goal, the Roos. He wobbles one towards, but bounces the wrong way and it's a behind.
Just had too much momentum up, did Shannon Grant. Let's have a look at Richie Vandenberg.
For a moment, I think we all thought he'd knocked him into the next century.
Yeah, it looked like he connected with him.
Back down to Jared Waitley.
Well, obviously, Lance has got a nasty gash on his head, but the real concern now is whether he has a fractured jaw. The club will know more, obviously, in the next hour or so, but I would suggest Lance is on his way to hospital fairly shortly.
Well, as I said, he had that horrific sinus injury a couple of years ago. And we'll keep you informed. But obviously, Lance Piccioni on his way to hospital.
They've had all of the momentum, the Hawks, and then we had the incident. You just wonder what the coach's instructions have been. He would have sent out a message for sure. Will it be just to play possession football like we're seeing here? They've got a 3-goal lead. We can see that there's just under 6 minutes to play. Do they just work to keep possession? Deny the Kangas the ball, let the clock tick down.
I think Graham was playing the boundary line with that kick. He didn't quite get it. But Barker holds the fort for Hawthorn, who have kicked 7 unanswered goals in this final quarter. But on what we've seen through 3.5 quarters tonight, you'd imagine that it might be the Kangaroos' turn.
You just think it's a bit early, Tim, to be playing this possession football.
There's 3 straight kicks in it. Barlow, Hawthorn have to hold their nerve and keep doing what they've been doing. Now Everett. Time enough for the Kangaroos. The Spider told he has to hustle it on, and he does, and does it well to Smith behind the wing.
Well, they've kept control pretty well, Hawks, but 1 turnover, and it's a very, very open Kangaroo forward line. One rush, 1 dash, and it can be a quick goal.
So John Barker has the footy. To half forward. Holland. Caught high by Watt. That was pretty undisciplined too. Here we go. This is the incident when Vandenberg came out. Lekas having a chat to Vandenberg. And there's no doubt that it's payback time. But, well, in the modern game, it just doesn't work like that, Robert, does it?
No, I don't think any Hawthorn player will be wanting to get himself suspended.
Holland kicks to the tip of the goal square. Everett from behind, no mark. Williams goal! No, he's hit the post again. Oh, gee, he's had some chances tonight. He's kicked 2 goals, 3, and one that only, well, one shocking kick. What might have been for Mark Williams. The Hawks lead by 19 points.
It'll be a long quarter because of that delay. Now Harvey to Motlop. It means the Kangaroos need to score 4 times to snatch this. The size of the task is growing. Colbert been thrillingly courageous tonight. Wells, who is just thrilling almost every time he glides onto the ball. The kick not great. Sinclair might be under the hammer again. Loney wanting to get onto his natural side. Clark, Mitchell, who has been better than, I'd say, anyone out there tonight. Holland, Clark again. Great runner, men inside him. Reese to Hodge, and Hawthorn are dangerous again, but that's a wayward kick. Or is it? Just offline. And curling back. Hawthorn by 20.
So Makepeace to do the kicking in. What an amazing turnaround it's been in the final term. What an amazing game it has been. Hawks led by 3 goals early in the game. The Roos led by 5 goals. Near three-quarter time. And now the scales are tipped back in Hawks' favour. They lead by 20 points. Lekas. No, the kick's going to come to Hodge.
45 points to 2 in the final term. Just one-way domination. Hodge has made a difference going forward.
No, you don't have to go that far. Don't try to put it over me. Take your kick.
Don't try to put it over me, says the umpire. Well, they'd never try to do that.
Hamish Blair, the photographer on the left, a fanatical Kangaroo supporter, won't be enjoying his snapping.
Hodge to the full forward area. The big fires by Thompson, no mark. Makepeace against Clark. Now Green. Here's another chance for the Hawks. Holland marks. And he will well and truly put the issue beyond doubt.
Well, Shane Crawford saying just settle down, take your time, let the seconds tick by. Nice kick by Green. Low and flat to a dangerous spot.
Holland's kicked his second. In the last quarter, Hawthorn had kicked 8 goals. And the Kangaroos just 2 behind.
It will be the Hawks whose hopes live on after this round 20 clash. A stunning last quarter. 8 goals to none. Mitchell again, inspiring so many Hawthorn takeaways. Courageous Clark, helping the ball onto Green from a long, long way.
Gee, they've just dominated the clearances in this final term, the Hawks.
Well, there's one Kangaroo who could hold his head high tonight, and that is Lee Colbert. Wells at half-back. Kicks to Simpson. From 60, he bangs it long. It's a good kick. And Joel Smith will concede to behind.
Archer
wants the free kick.
Yeah, Archer reckons he should have got a free kick back there. Umpire, you say don't put it over me. I'll tell you what, that is a dreadful decision by the umpire.
They can't grab him. Move away. Move away. They can't grab him for that reason at all. Move away. Move away. Get real. Move away and stop it.
It's when the umpires lose respect from the footballers when they give a petty decision like that.
Now it's a 50. Doesn't matter.
Well, the game's had some low points tonight, and there's just another one. That really is poor umpiring.
That's a free kick. Grab him by the jumper. Free kick.
Yeah, explain all you like,
Here we go, here's the
umpire.
replay now. The Archer slapped Everett in the face.
Well, he's fronted up
You
to,
know, it's just
to hit him.
a 50-50 situation.
Lack of
Really?
common sense, umpire. You can have a look at the box here. Have a look at that.
And rightly so.
Yeah, well...
Well, he mightn't be thrilled with Peter Everett either. He was sucked in.
When a bloke goes to give you a belt and a gob, Tim, you're entitled to put your hands out and protect yourself and grab him by the jumper.
Not a according to the law.
No, not according to the law, but
Archer made first contact.
what about the
surely,
law
so.
of common sense?
Vandenberg. Now Barlow. Hawthorn still look to have it in safekeeping. Everett to Mitchell, who deserves a goal if anyone does. But he'll give it to a teammate in green. Not happy with that result.
Well, this game, really, let's hope it doesn't get too ugly.
What about a free kick?
Don't give
to,
away something
Leckers?
now. Call it. Coming out, come on. Hey, watch the ball. Don't hit him.
Well, this is one of the ugliest games of football we've seen for quite some time. There's been many nasty incidents. Archer attacks it again. Sinclair has kicked a goal.
Good goal.
Points the Hawks in front. It's going to be a long, long quarter. Here's Leckerson Brown. And here's the good snap from Jess Sinclair, who kicks his first for the night.
And the first syllable of his surname.
John Barker at centre half-back has had a really good game. 19 disposals and 10 marks. Maybe they found something tonight, the Hawks, with Barker playing back there.
King for the Kangaroos. Puts them into attack once again. Petrie snaps into the goal square. Archer and Smith. And again, the Hawks happy to concede the rush behind.
Long quarter.
And that looks like a signal of concession from Dean Laidley. Peter Schwab conceding nothing. He doesn't believe it's over. Getting on for midnight here. Well, not quite, but it's been a long last quarter.
Yeah, obviously with the Lance Piccioni incident. And he's on his way to hospital.
Barlow with a good option down the wing. He's gone via the Cape. But, well, there it is. The Hawks are still alive. For the Kangaroos, a painful defeat for Jess Sinclair. It's not over yet. For Sam Mitchell, another outstanding performance. Hawthorn by 14 points.
Well, Mitchell and Sinclair would have been teammates out with the Eastern Rangers in the under-18 competition some years back.
The mathematical chance is still alive.
Yeah, it was good. You know, we had to get across the line tonight and just keep our finals hopes alive, even if it's only small.
What was the change between three-quarter time and the last quarter? You looked gone at three-quarter time.
Yeah, we did, but, you know, good faith in everyone and enthusiasm and the support for one another. And, you know, the way Schwabby led us at three-quarter time and what he said, you know, got us over the line.
I told you the extractor. You certainly did it plenty in the last quarter. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Good on you.
So what has been a controversial night at Telstra Dome in so many ways. The Hawks have kept their narrow finals hopes alive with a 14-point victory over the Kangaroos.
Last time out, the Tigers took the points. Tonight, the inspired Bombers are back to even the score.
The greatest Bomber goal kicker ever.
Sheeds leads in his 200th game at the G. Essendon and Richmond tonight on Fox Footy.
The National AFL Rising Star recognises the best young footballers playing in the Australian Football League. These are the nominees from the first 6 rounds. Sam Mitchell from Hawthorn, St Luke Ball, Carlton's Trent Spawn, Jared Brennan from Brisbane, Sydney's Adam Schneider, and Michael Osborne from the Hawks. The award is part of the National AFL Pathway Program, who will be the National AFL Rising Star in 2003.
Strength, power, speed, world title glory is all breathed undefeated Australian knockout artist Danny Green fights for the title. The WBC Championship, Danny Green, Marcus Bayer. See it on Main Event, pay-per-view. Replay tonight, 6:30. Call your service provider and book now.
The finest minds.
What is the best remedy for a hangover?
Not drinking the night before is probably a good.
The toughest questions.
There.
Place called Sons of the Skies.
In this game, there are winners.
I don't know the answer to that.
And there are drop kicks.
I did barrack for Melbourne for a while.
Well,
I'm with Hawthorn now, but if they don't pick up the game, I'm leaving them too.
Drop kick, 8:30 Tuesday, only on Fox Footy Channel. The 2003 AFL Premiership season is brought to you by Harvey Norman, Telstra, and the 1.8-litre Nissan Pulsar.
Tonight, the Swans battle for a place in the top 4 when they clash with the Brisbane Lions.
He likes it out in front.
Will it be Luminous O'Loughlin or Lustrous Lynch? Brisbane Lions, Sydney, tonight on Fox Footy Extra.
Come with us to a special place.
Please come in.
Home. A place where great stories come to life.
Stories that fill the world with fantasy. Don't you see it? You can save the world.
Wonder.
You think you're too old to believe in the impossible.
Innocence.
They're beans. Oh, don't be ridiculous. They're more than that. And love. As great as fun.
Australians love a great story.
Tell a lot of stories, do you?
I think we all need our fantasies.
Because great stories last forever.
They are more important than you can possibly know.
Up until a few days ago, I didn't even know this world existed.
What is this place? Hallmark, where great stories come to life.
But what if the fairy tale isn't a tale at all? What if the story were true?
Last week on White Line Fever, Power of 3.
Got to get the crooked nose and the white eyebrows first before they start calling me Berkey.
Sam Mitchell, intellectual.
I'm not sure about that. At the moment, I read about Gandhi.
I just like actual reading. And a milestone for the best and fairest Swan.
The club has been sensational to me.
Monday, Wayne Schwass and Tiger big man Brad Ottens will take your calls live across Australia. That's White Line Fever, 7:30 Eastern.
range from champion footballers, past and present, to men and women of all ages from all walks of life. The common thread is their love of football, the bric-a-brac, the mementos, the trivia, and the rarities. You will find them scouring junk shops, at sporting fairs, and in the rooms of Australia's most prestigious auction houses. In this show, we meet that burgeoning breed who are prepared to spend their hard-earned cash on a piece of memorabilia from years past. It might be a medallion, a footy jumper that has seen better days, or a scrap of paper with the name of a great champion inscribed forever. It may be displayed elegantly in pride of place, or quietly tucked away and put on display on special occasions. They're a rare group with a deep knowledge of football and its personalities. They are the collectors.
For some, it is a passion, the delight of amassing the memorabilia of an age past. In this show, we meet an intrepid bulldog, a man who's had a lifelong love for the navy blues of Carlton and its heroes past, and a man who caters to the whims of the public. Three men with a shared love on this edition of The Collectors. When you work for the local paper, have written a book about your heroes, and are red, white and blue to the very core, it's little wonder that Footscray figures heavily in the collecting habits of Stephen Milne.
Mark, who's now the police reporter at the Herald Sun, and we made a couple of dollars, but that wasn't the real reason we did it, and it's just a really great time in my life. After the book was published, Sons of the Scray, Mark and I went out to the top 10 players that we listed in our book and got them to sign a limited edition of 25, and you see there's some of the fascinating autographs. L.B. Morrison, Alan Banana Legs Hopkins, who unfortunately passed away last year, aged in his 90s. We've got the late and great Mr. Football, Ted Whitten, Gary Dempsey, Doug Hawkins, Harry Hickey, who passed away a couple of years ago. So that was just a bit of a magic time to get all these great champs to sign the book, and they really are a collector's item. There's a few still kicking around, but that's just one of the...
So consistent, weren't they, all day? The Hawks kicked 6 goals in the first quarter and they led by 31 points. They kicked a great effort in the second quarter to fight back after the Cats looked so good, and the third quarter again the Hawks dominated. So they really did it in the first and third quarters. The final score though, 20 goals 10 130 to Geelong, 11-12 78. There's the goal kickers, an impressive spread for the Hawks. Crawford with 4, Dixon and Leckus with 3 each, Holland, Harford and Vandenberg with 2. And for the Cats, Kingsley with 5, and he really has been a lone hand for them so far this year up forward. King and Lord with 2 goals each, and we see the wide spread of the Hawthorn.
This is what you've seen on Fox Footy News. Just see him arriving. Recent reports surrounding so-called hush money. Tim Lane has walked out on Channel 9.
This far outweighs any traditional clashes in Melbourne.
Forcing multiple offenders. Give us 30 minutes and we'll give you more than just headlines.
Have a look at it. Has escaped the Melbourne spotlight.
David Rodden. Fox Footy News, 7:30 weeknights on your home of football, Fox Footy Channel.
You've got about 30 seconds to explain yourself.
It's the Monday Experts on the couch with Jared, Mike and Robert.
The reign of Carlton is over, isn't it?
Right?
I don't think he's fit enough.
A show for the real footy fan.
We're building him up a bit here, Mike. I know you think that we're jumping the gun.
A ruckman's the most important player in a team.
You can't be a great midfielder if you average 14 possessions.
With the hottest topics.
We shouldn't trivialise it.
but they were depleted.
Join them on the couch, Mondays at 8:30 on Fox Footy Channel.
Welcome to the replay of the West Coast Eagles versus the Kangaroos from Subiaco Oval. Round 7 right here on Fox Footy Channel. Welcome back to Subiaco. The toss of the coin between Ben Cousins and Anthony Stevens, as we welcome Tim Gossage to the commentary. Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Matty. Looking forward to this one. The Flying Kangaroos, their third interstate trip in just 7 rounds. Of course, they beat Port Adelaide in round 1, then they lost in controversial circumstances in Sydney, and now probably, along with the Brisbane trip, the toughest one in the book coming across here to Subiaco Oval.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to this contest, and the rain has stayed away as we speak, but let's go down the boundary to Lockie Reid to find out what's happening with the weather. Lockie.
Very blustery conditions down here on Subiaco Oval. Possibly a 3 to 4 goal breeze. West Coast Eagles will be kicking with that for the first quarter. The ground has held up very well despite all the activity over the past couple of days. We've had soccer training, we've had footy training, and we've also had a WAFL game here on Subiaco Oval. Could be a little bit slippery, but it's going to be a fantastic game. Let's have a look at the benches. First of all, for the West Coast Eagles, the home side, it's Wooden, Chambers, Embley and Green, who's in for Tucky. And for the Kangaroos, Shannon Watt, Harding, Motlop and Cochrane.
Thanks, Lockie. As we saw, the flags were blown to the left of the screen. I was down on the ground earlier on, Tim, and if you're up the other end, though, it's fairly well protected because I did the Matthew Lloyd and threw the grass up in the air and it went to the right of screen.
Yeah, very swirly once it gets inside the stadium, so even though those flags are certainly blowing to the left of screen, and as Lockie mentioned, favouring that end of the ground, on ground level at certain stages it has no influence on the kick.
No, you're right, Tim. In fact, if you go right of screen as the Kangaroos will be going, then they'll be favoured. Once they get inside 50 there's no concern with the breeze at all.
Kangaroos do have a good record against West Coast and at this ground, and we've already seen this season when they've been under a bit of pressure, they've been able to produce, having a great win in Adelaide and almost getting over the line against Sydney in a somewhat controversial finish.
As you see, McCartney's gone to full back on Wilson for the Kangaroos. Archer's gone to a flank on Williams, and Big Porter, Mark Porter, is starting at full forward. Rocker starting at about the 40-metre area with Ashley McIntosh on him, so Jakovic will probably get the job on Digby Morrell.
Umpires Coates, Avon and Nichols for this afternoon. About to get the round 7 clash underway. Crowd of just over 27,000. You're watching AFL on Fox as Burton. And immediately there's an infringement from the centre square. Not the start that Dennis Pagan was looking for, because an easy possession straight away for the West Coast Eagles to Cox. That must be really annoying for a coach to start.
Well, possibly. I think Clayton coming off the wing was the infringer there, so that's something you really should never happen.
Cox, good lead from Gasper, goes over his head. Archer back there for the Kangaroos, solid bump from Haynes. Simpson, the first kick out of there, out in front of Harvey. Simpson and Harvey, Grant, all been an excellent touch for the Kangaroos so far this season. Ball bounces for Jakovic. Turns Morrell inside out. Tim, you were saying that it was different for Jakovic this week. He normally prepares for a Wayne Carey, but it's a different mindset for him.
Yeah, speaking to him yesterday, he was very disappointed that the King's not out there, and he wants him to be back playing sooner than later, but maybe not today, because the Kangaroos would be a fair side with the King back in it, but at the moment the Eagles have the ball at half back. Williams kicks Smother down brilliantly, but Williams did well, went back and got his own footy, kicks to open space, the ball pitches, Cousins taken high, should get a free kick and does.
Yeah, good call, Tim. It was just an initial contact by Harvey as he plays on.
He does, he kicks to an open goal square. Will the ball skid through? It does, but it's through for a minor score. Ben Cousins forward thinking from the skipper, through for a minor score. And Brent Harvey, just over the shoulder of Ben Cousins, just got him coming back to the left.
He tried to correct it, not good enough.
And then he was up and away.
Daniel Kerr looks if he has the run with roll with Anthony Stevens. And I think Robbins will probably be the player, number 30, the redhead, picking up Ben Cousins.
Here. Sorry, Tim. Archer takes the mark in. Goes long. Suits the Eagles, though. Straight to Matera. That's Peter Matera, marks safely. Laterally goes to Judd. Plenty of room to play on. And has good running, good strong running for the Eagles. As Fletcher ran into space. Wilson on a lead, but getting back. And the kick was shorter. And getting in there was Haynes.
So it's interesting, Matthew, the North, or the Kangaroos defenders in King and Archer particularly, weren't prepared to go to a man. They wanted to sit off in zone and try and protect the ball, the area, so much for Wilson behind them. And in fact, so what was done there was the right thing, just chip it short and go straight to young David Haynes. Won't be a problem with the distance here.
He's kicked 3 goals, 1 for the season so far, David Haynes. From 45 metres, hooks it badly. Just the behind. 2 behinds the West Coast. Kangaroos yet to score.
Yes, it's an important miss. If we do get rain later on, you've got to take your chances early while the ball's a bit dry.
He kicked 4 goals, 6 for Subiaco in the WAFL game a couple of weeks ago, so maybe accuracy is not one of his attributes. King to bring the ball in for the Kangaroos, goes to the scoreboard side. Wapunda has to stand underneath and took the arm sleeves, kicks into the lead, into the pocket of Wilson, pitched in front of the Eagles for forward over the line and out of play. 28,500 in, blustery old day. West Coast Eagles haven't lost at Subiaco Oval this year. The Kangaroos do enjoy playing here. Burton slaps it down. Gasper over the footy, just squeezes the ball out. On the boundary line, Williams hooks it back towards the front of the goal square. Well done by Baird. In front of his opposite number, Haynes. He took a very good mark on the relieving goal square.
Deceiving player, Tim, John Baird, elevated this year, and tall, aggressive, holds his ground. So an important player to sit there, which releases someone like Archer or McCartney up the ground.
And he's got some confidence too as he gets around the man of the mark. Short, make peace, just the required distance. Braun attending. Make peace breaks. Again, it suits the Eagles. 3-on-1 over the top. Cox, the easiest of marks. Playing on quickly, Judd running. Spots a player to his left, but the kick goes back towards Archer. Wilson came. Braun in the crumbing spot. He gives it off. McCartney gets it towards Pickett. Intercepted by Kerr. Got it to Braun. On the left, not enough. On the last line, make peace. Now the Kangaroos with a little bit more purpose, but again, not a lot to kick to. And again, it suits the Eagles. Cox and Wirrapunda. Good talk from Wirrapunda. Cox takes another mark. Playing on quickly to Jones. Jones long towards Wilson. Too long, in fact. And McCartney takes the mark on his chest. Interesting, Ross, that they're having trouble getting out of their back 50.
Yes, 2 kicks, that's right, Makepeace and then Colbert kicking right to Cox. But that was poor reading the ball in the flight by Troy Wilson. Took himself right under the footy.
Simpson has it, so they've worked it out of their defensive 50, only just. Simpson's hook kick to centre wing. Clayton is there. Judd kept him out of the contest and Jones chipped in and took the mark. They're playing on an all cost here, West Coast. Matera, he's traversed the ground. Now Archer's in best position here. He's hard to beat in a 50-50 contest. Took the mark and played on. Now they're running for him. Here's King. Juggling effort, took the mark. Steps around Matera. Did he go? No, according to umpire Coates.
He was clever then. He knew that he had taken momentum forward, but he also had the option to say, hang on, I had to try and pull up there, and I couldn't pull up any quicker than what I did.
David King. From the goal square, he's going to kick long. The Porter-Carroll contest. Carroll back, Porter forced to spoil from behind, over the line and out of play in the forward left pocket.
Not sure, Tim, whether that was the right option. He had Savrock on the lead, and he was probably 15 metres clear of McIntosh when he got to about the 40-metre area, so the kick probably should have gone to there from my point of view. Still, we're in the box.
The Eagles doing all the attacking, but now the Kangaroos have found themselves in front of goal. Robbins ekes a hand pass out to Simpson. Up and under kick. Umpire says there's no mark here. Play on. Burton up over the top. Not paid. Jakovic threw it on the boot. McIntosh tunnels it out. Cousins, that little shimmy. Then the left foot kick towards centre wing. Good kick in the end, had nothing on, found space right on centre wing, right on the interchange area. Ben Cousins bends the early. That's his third kick.
Shannon Grant already to the bench for the Kangaroos. Cousins, as usual, involved early. Here's Robbins. Round the body, hooks it back to the contest. Simpson caught by Jones and Kerr. No opportunity. Good umpiring. Let the play go on. Kerr, poor kick. Stevens can't get a handle on it. Here's Baird, also Haynes. He wanted Fletcher. Stevens with courage, as per the norm. Ball up.
See match-up two, David King and David Weirpunda. Two players who like to follow the footy, attack the ball, not necessarily close checking types. So one-on-one there. It'll be interesting to see it pans out if it stays like that for the rest of the game.
Men in charge for the afternoon. Gasper can't beat Burton and Colbert. Colbert trying to burrow his way through. Hits it high. It was always down there, Ross.
Well, the umpire's closer than us, Matthew, but speculative free kick.
50-metre penalty. So wonderful opportunity here for the Kangaroos.
Yeah, Cox saying why, and the umpire's saying you didn't get back on the mark as I blew the whistle. That's why.
No one on the mark.
See that? Now he should know that, Lee Colbert. You can't kick and play on until the umpire set the mark. Now what happens is it allows, for the time of the ball to come back, it allows West Coast to get back and block up that 50 area.
One extra in defence, so Rocker the target. McIntosh right with him. Over the top came Porter. Here's McIntosh back in the side with that hamstring injury. Jakovic will want the boundary. Successfully does so. So no goals as yet here from Subiaco. Under 14 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Cool day. A little bit windy. The wind favouring the West Coast Eagles. But conditions good for players away from the normal Subiaco heat. Porter, Pickett, a chance for the first goal. Round the body, Byron Pickett. Oh, that's a ripper. Pickett gets his first, and, well, he's been a goal kicker this season already, Byron Pickett, with 13 goals, 5 coming in this game. Great start.
Yes, and while that was happening, just watch this again. Porter just pushing out the back. No one covering that area for West Coast. It's important, particularly with someone like Pickett or even a Harvey. They are so clever. And that's a terrific kick from that area. Shannon Grant back on the ground now. Motlop coming off for him. That's Shannon Motlop.
Byron Pickett gets the first goal of the game. Kicked 6 in round 15 last year against the West Coast Eagles and got himself a Brownlow medal vote for the effort. So the Kangas get the first goal on the board. Cox has been busy early, throws it on the boot to half forward. Gasper front spot. Over the top of him was Colbert, no free kick. Now Kerr was taken high. Does he get one? He does. Daniel Kerr, 55 out from goal. Has the breeze at his back, but it still might test him. Kicks long. Williams, well done Gasper, held his man out. Williams floated across the front of the pack. And Andrew Williams has been a goal kicker this year.
Look, he's a player who slips under the opposition guard at time because he's strong overhead like that, fleet of foot, and usually a good finisher, right, Tim? This way, he just Archer getting caught behind, and either one of the two West Coast players could have taken that mark.
So Williams aiming for his 10th goal for the season. Slots it through, and the Eagles get the quick response.
It's important that they did that. They've been inside 50 often enough. 6-2 at the moment in favour of West Coast, so they hadn't had a chance, well, not a chance, but unable to get close enough to goal to score. And Williams there just read it very well, and the kick by Kerr important. Set it up in the danger spot. Wilson had led out to our right on screen there, but ignored by Kerr. Went long, and that's the result.
Williams with his 10th goal of the season and 4 disposals already, so very lively in this first quarter. Andrew Williams. Good answering goal by the Eagles. Burton against Cox. Matsira out the back door. Got it to Jones. Did well in the end. Didn't panic. Fletcher has Weirpunda wide. Second option was further afield. That was Williams. Now a chance for King for the Kangaroos. Archer Too much on the kick. Colica there for the Eagles. Indecision. Now decides to go. Goes back to Matera. A little bit scrappy. And the turnover. King. Simpson from 50. Just tugs it left. And a little bit of indecision costing the West Coast Eagles there, but Simpson's kick just the behind.
Yes, and also Adam Simpson looked directly at his captain in Anthony Stevens. Then as he kicked on his right boot, his non-preferred Stevens was clear. Should have received a handball, would have been a free shot at goal on his left boot.
Eagles lead by a point. Crowd building all the time, almost 31,000. Saturday afternoon footy.
It's not a bad crowd, Tim.
33 a couple of weeks ago against Brisbane, so yes, considering it's not the best day weather-wise. Long kick, McIntosh. Kangaroos were in best position. They seemed to spoil each other. Underneath the pack was Porter. Well done, Simpson knocks it out to King. He's been penalised for a throw. And, well, I thought Adam Simpson just swatted that out of mid-air. Very hard to grab it with one hand and throw it at the same time, but he's been penalised.
It's interesting, Tim. Some umpires, it's true that if you hit it with an open hand like that, it's a scoop, but it's not at all.
Glenn Jakovic forced off the ground at Football Park with that shoulder injury. They've restrapped it slightly different now, and he's feeling a little more comfortable. Fletcher's kick is good to the middle of the ground at Colica now. He's got Peter Matera running for him. That's the direction the hand pass takes. He loops it over the top. Here's Kerr, runs on 50. From 50 metres, Daniel Kerr sprays it and misses the lot. Bad miss.
Deserved the goal. They worked it very well. They took some risks, and they're running in numbers. Got it 40. He's normally a very good finisher. Looked balanced, did everything right, settled.
Makepeace to bring it in for the Kangaroos. Burton is target. Easily got it in front of Matera there. So big spider Burton now. Almost smothered by Kerr. Gets up and under it. That should suit McIntosh. Terrific mark, not paid. Gives it up. Simpson to Rocker. Kangaroos running now. King has got Stevens, spots him. Stevens goes back into the hole, and a falling mark by the skipper. A clever kick by King.
He's just questioning whether the mark at the other end, or it's the mark to McIntosh.
McIntosh, I reckon McIntosh claimed that mark, and from my 4 eyes from this distance, it didn't look like he hit the ground.
It's interesting. I would have said probably the same. Not sure whether we'll get it on replay, but that's the mark to Stevens. It was a well-weighted kick. He had room behind him, so no pressure from behind.
Stevens lines up for the Kangaroos' second goal. He's just got the one so far this season, 1 goal, 2. No problems whatsoever for Anthony Stevens. His first goal of the afternoon. And for a comprehensive wrap of the round, you can find it on the Winners on Sunday night at 7:30. All the good goals, all the good marks and all the action.
Well, just watch this McIntosh mark again, or attempted mark. Did very well to get Rocker out of the way. Being held a little, holds with one hand. It sits on the ball, Tim, that's why. Hits the ground. You agreed. I can see your head nodding. Yeah, that's right.
I better get those glasses checked.
Just clean them.
So it wasn't a mark to McIntosh, but it was a goal to Stevens. And the Kangaroos, third lead change in the game, now by 5 points. Been good contest in the middle between Cox and Burton. Hacked forward by Judd. Overran the footy on this occasion. Now Haynes slipped under the tackle, was taken high, plays on. Then kick smothered down by Simpson. Matera's there, Pete up, around the corner, good vision, spots up Cousins, 55 out. Now Cousins wants to play on at all costs. He hand pass to Fletcher. He's a left footer, he'll try and straighten it up to the front of the goal square. Wilson slipped, then got up, and over the back, taking a very good mark, running in. Is that Gasper? I think it is. Very good mark. He was about 3rd or 4th in line. Took a diving chest mark.
He's a good player, Tim. I mean, the first game he played this year at centre-half 40 really did dominate, and cleverly takes advantage. So the Eagles get the lead back by 1 point. Travis Gasper, trouble during the week with a hip injury, didn't play a lot of the game at Footy Park. And two, Fletcher there looked toward the goal, didn't look for the actual goal itself, looked to the top of the square, and Gasper running in at pace. Cleverly done. He's a smart player. And again, no one on the mark. Why wait? The umpire said it's all clear, away you go. And he's been picked up by Lee Colbert, so inexperienced in Gasper, playing against a very experienced player in Lee Colbert, so that'll do his confidence the world of good. Callum Chambers on screen there.
Well, both times the Kangaroos have goaled. West Coast have answered immediately. They lead by a point. Burton, Robbins, quick hands, wanted Stevens. Fletcher gets in his way towards Haynes. Good punch from Baird, running as far as Williams. Has Cousins, decides to go alone, steps inside 50 and bangs it long for another goal. Wonderful confidence from Andrew Williams, his second already. And two quick ones for the West Coast, Ross.
And important again that you get the clearance out of the centre. You get the ball into your forward 50 very quickly, which West Coast did there. See the bounce there. Actually favoured Robbins, but in fact his handball was errant in numbers. Fletcher again getting involved. It was a good punch by Baird, as you called, but favoured then Williams and also Cousins running on his left. But he said, no, I'll go by myself. Why not?
Andrew Williams, second goal for the day, and he's playing his 41st consecutive game for West Coast. Only second only to Glenn Jakovic in consecutive games played for this club at the moment. He's an important player, and he's jumped up as a goal kicker. Middle of the ground, Cousins been busy early, throws it on the boot to the forward 50. Beats the pack with Punda, quick hands. Here's Gaspar from inside 50. Let's fly. A goal in 20 seconds for West Coast. Gaspar's got two, Williams has got two, and already a mini break for West Coast Eagles.
That's a good sign too for West Coast. Their younger players are leading the way as Matthew Burton is taken from the ground, and replacing him is Lee Harding. He's going to go forward. Supporters in the ruck. But watch this again. Clearance out of the middle is so important, and quickly numbers and great hands by Wirpunda. Just clean front position. Knew what was about him. Gaspar was the player he elected to handball to, and a confident finish. See the height variance there. Lee Colbert about 6'3", Gaspar 6'5", and mobile.
Wonderful burst here by the Eagles. Off the ground went Braun towards the wing. Cousins with pace. Oh, wonderful below the knees. Wonderful pickup. Got it to Jakovic. In turn, Fletcher, but he just kicks it to his opposite number 7 in Adam Simpson. Quickly goes towards Rocco. Got to beat a couple. Jakovic and McIntosh. Got to beat a couple of excellent players, and McIntosh favoured there.
That was a mark?
That was a mark, Tim.
I don't need a replay.
You've obviously cleaned those glasses in the last couple of minutes. Braun, Wirpunda provided the target, couldn't quite mark it. Simpson at ground level does well to Robbins. Has very quick hands, does Robbins. Motlop got it to Clayton. Back to the aforementioned. Poor kick, maybe he should handball all the time. McIntosh, caught, free kick. Advantage paid. Fletcher quickly, low, good pass to Haynes, who has been prominent. He's providing a target to confident West Coast Eagles at the moment until a poor kick comes. And that was it. Clayton to Porter. Squeezes it out. Braun, good mark. Tough mark. Running away. Just under 8 minutes remaining. A 13-point margin to the West Coast Eagles. Goes towards the umpire. Standing behind him.
Wooden's just come on now, Matthew, and he's clear. He's replaced Trent Carroll.
Wooden, straight on, almost an effective kick to Jones.